Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, didn't see you there.
Hey,
What's big?
almost walked right into you over
Brandon,
this internet. Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
My name is WeskerPawnch. If you don't know me, you probably do if you're listening to this bullshit. Could you,
I don't
gentlemen,
fucking know
introduce
you.
yourself?
I'm Brandon.
and I'm Spader.
All right. So, this is going to be episode 1 of a podcast we're going to do. We may have other members jumping on from time to time. Right now, we actually don't even have a name for this thing. But, do you guys want to mention any names you were thinking of or that we might have already discussed before or anything?
I can't really think of any good ones at the moment.
Candy Swamp.
No.
Candy Swamp. I kind of liked Swampcast, honestly, back when I mentioned it, but
Yeah, it's a good one actually.
yeah, because we're based in
Yeah.
swamp states.
Swamps. Yeah.
But this is coming from the Weskerocity Discord server right now, and maybe we might just go with the name Weskerocity Podcast just to make things simple and not overcomplicate things. We'll figure that out later. No need to fret over it now. So, I would like to move on to our first and most pressing topic of the night, that being the Pokemon news that passed just under a week ago.
Yeah, it passed like a kidney stone.
Yeah, Brandon, won't you hate on it, please?
Yeah, real painful.
What day was that announced?
That's Friday, I think.
Was it like the 26th?
It was Friday or Saturday.
It was Friday.
Yeah. I love Pokemon. I've played at least one game, one of the mainline games in all of the generations. I have played Pokemon Pearl and Pokemon Platinum, and now I see the announcement for Pokemon. What is it? Brilliant Diamond.
Shining Pearl.
Crazy
And
Diamond
Shining Pearl.
and Pearl Necklace, yes.
Yeah, those are some good
BDSM.
JoJo characters.
If you must.
Yeah. So I wasn't all that hyped for it because I was expecting something a little bit more like the style of the games we've been getting, and
The newer art style, the more human proportions of the characters within.
Mm-hmm.
and to be honest, I don't mind, like chibi characters in the overworld, full modeled characters in battle, because I played all the old games, so I like that. My problem is it doesn't look polished enough, and they didn't reveal anything new for the remakes, so it feels like a refresh rather than like a remake.
So are you upset because it's the same but different?
No, it doesn't even feel different.
You just triggered the fuck out of me, but go ahead. I'll get to that later, don't worry.
It's literally the same but different.
I just don't. They didn't reveal. It's like, oh, and we have new so and so features, and we have so and so in the Pokédex. I don't even know if they're gonna have like a full national Pokédex, or if they're even going to have the amount of Pokemon that they had in the original, the same as it is in the remakes.
They've got to have the amount that was in the original.
If I had to assume anything, this is the names Diamond and Pearl for the sake of being two games.
Yeah.
With the play style and same thing, like the same exact game that Platinum gave us, just updated. If I had to guess.
I want to say something was pointed out when I was talking to some friends about it. Let me just bring it up. There is a woman over in a certain town, Floaroma town, where you talk about the Gracidia, and it helps finding the shaman or something. I never played Platinum myself. I only played Diamond back in the day. And she is in the trailer, but she is exclusive to Platinum version as far as I understand.
The NPC that you see in one of the shots, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So that kind of confirms that there will be Platinum content, I believe. So I think people don't need to worry about it just being like Diamond and Pearl. I'm pretty sure there'll be Platinum stuff. I know a lot of people want to see Distorted World. Hopefully that'll come back. I imagine it will. Don't know why they just wouldn't throw it back in there.
Well, Brandon did mention in the Oris remakes and I believe the original or Emerald did include after game content, post game content that Oris didn't, that left out that they could have added.
Yeah, like the
I think,
Zinnia episode with Rayquaza.
yeah. The episode Deoxys and where you go to space.
Right.
Spoilers if you haven't played these games from
30 years
when
ago.
no 30 years
200
ago.
years ago.
It feels like 30 years ago.
When the pyramids were young. I do like the spin auras added on stuff like they added more lore for and including Deoxys. That was like an event exclusive Pokemon that a lot of people didn't have before the Oris remakes.
They also
And then
added
I also
Mega
like-
Evolutions into the game.
I love Mega Evolutions. They're gone, but whatever. What I honestly love about Oris is how they treat secret bases. They gave you more secret base options and locations, and they added the Wi-Fi functionality. I feel like it's an underrated feature. Secret bases are going to come back in the Diamond and Pearl remakes, but the
we'll get
underground, the underground looks the same. And part of being in the underground, that was kind of like, the underground was fun if you were around friends that had Diamond and Pearl and Platinum. But what I didn't like about it is it was this gigantic map, and it all felt the same. And from the trailer, it looks like it's going to be the same.
Yeah, so that might not be extremely exciting for people who want the game plus more, like, just expanding on the original content. Caleb, Brandon already went ahead and talked about some of his history with Pokemon. Could you maybe talk about your perspective on this whole remake? We're going to get to Legends later, like the Arceus game. No, sorry, not Arceus, Arceus, right?
Arceus, yeah, that was big. So, like, my background was just like Diamond and Pearl and Platinum.
Oh, like the series as a whole, like
The whole
maybe
series as a
your
whole.
perspective.
I've played at least one of every generation. I played at least one side. Usually the opposite side of Brandon. We've kind of
You guys kind of grew up together, right?
yeah, we did that
Yeah.
in a way to where he had the other game that I didn't. And
I'm still trying to get my trainer's license in real life.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
I
get my
played
driver's license.
every game going all the way back to as early Fire Red maybe or Leaf Green. I had
Yeah.
both of them, but those were my first. Well, no, I take that back. I actually played Silver first. It was my first Pokemon game on the Game Boy Color.
Ah, you're a Gen 2er.
Yeah, that was when I started. But
Brandon.
then when Fire Red and Leaf Green came,
Yeah.
I played both of them
That's a good
around the
place to get
same
to.
time.
Are you also a Gen 2er maybe? You didn't really specify where you started.
Pokemon Yellow.
Really? You started with Yellow.
Yeah. I did try Red because I rented it. And I noticed that, like, I'm a kid. I don't know any better. I'm just like, oh, man, look at all these Pokemon games in the world. They must all be radically different. So I owned Yellow, and I started with that. It was my first game. It felt like my first game I ever owned as a kid.
Yeah.
On my first console, which is like a Game Boy Color.
Mhm.
So I didn't understand RPGs, even Pokemon, which is like RPG for babies. So me and my brother would play on the same Game Boy and on the same save file, and I would level up some Pokemon. He would level up some Pokemon. I think I'm the reason we had like a level 90 Pikachu. Just like a Pikachu that could sweep. So a little bit later on, I tried Pokemon Red on Game Boy because I rented it.
Yeah.
After I was done with Yellow, and I'm just like, oh, this is just like
A downgrade.
Yellow, a downgrade, yeah. Yellow with less, and the art was all different.
Yeah, the sprites were completely different, right?
Yeah, they're all like
Kind of
monstrous. Yeah. So I really like Yellow, which is why I was okay when they announced like Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, because they had enough nostalgia pulling me in.
When was Yellow released compared to Gold and Silver?
Ooh.
They probably came out around the same time.
So Pokemon Yellow was released. Release date. in North America on October 19th of 1999.
Wow, that's the cusp.
Silver.
Thanks so much for embellishing on that, Brandon. I wanted to actually ask about the sprites because I couldn't remember.
Literally 1 year later.
Oh yeah, it made yellow look technically impressive because it was honestly as close as you could get to like a game with anime graphics on the go. I mean, if that's anything anybody gave a shit about.
So was
Just pictures.
Pokemon Yellow was for Game Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you put it in the Game Boy Color, it would
had color.
have the same with
Wow.
Gold and Silver.
Right.
Crystal was the only one that was just like a Game Boy Color game.
Wait, Gold and Silver were actually designed for the Game Boy originally, and they came out for the Game Boy.
No, I mean, yeah, you could just get Gold and Silver, put them in a Game Boy,
Wow.
and you can play it with pea green colored graphics.
Yeah, some of that old 90s era looking bullshit. Caleb, I'm sorry I cut you off earlier, but I wanted to know your opinion on the remake and just where you're generally approaching from. We'll get into the nitty gritty a bit later again, but I just want to know I want to know your general attitude towards it right now.
I'm excited. That's how I felt. This Pokemon Direct more so than others, I was just more excited. Since Shield and Sword or Sword and Shield released.
Yeah.
Because I was in with the whole speculation of the way this Dex, the original, I guess I wouldn't really say national Dex, but I guess the national Dex would be included in Sword and Shield. Kind of left out a bunch of that region, the center region, so it kind of didn't help. I guess the surprise that they were trying to go with. It is 15 years later too, so it's kind of like, hey, here's a game for the updated consoles 15 years later.
Yeah, and that actually reminds me, I'm glad you mentioned, we brought it back to Sword and Shield, because a big problem, I believe, with the fact that they didn't have a national Dex that was the full size for Sword and Shield was because they had to import it to the new engine or whatever, the new platform. And this game, this what is it, Shining Diamond or whatever, the remakes are gonna be on that same engine, I assume, as these other Pokemon games. So
I feel like it'll be somewhere in between what we got up on original release with DS.
Yeah.
Just in between Let's Go and Sword and Shield.
Yeah, I feel like they'll be able to take all the Pokemon from those games and just kind of mash them together. Assuming.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen. I think whatever Let's Go had, which I'm not really sure what all they included that you could get.
I think it was just the 151.
Right. So
they had the 151 plus all the Alola forms.
Real? Why the Alola forms? What?
Because there were only Kanto Alolan forms.
Were they just available in Kanto? How'd that work?
Well,
just they are Kanto Pokemon.
Yeah, because there's a relationship between Alola and Sun and Moon and Kanto.
So the Let's Go Pokédex includes how many total?
So the only Pokemon with Alolan forms were from the original 151, and that's just banking on nostalgia, and they were able to kind of cross that over.
Okay, that's just for pretty much cross fun between the different games. Okay, so I want to say what my perspective is last, because I think I'm kind of coming at this from a weird fucking angle right here. I'm a Gen 3er. I started on Pokemon Ruby, and then I went from Ruby to Leaf Green. I'm gonna ignore the ones I played on GameCube. I played Coliseum and Pokemon Channel. Let's forget about that for now. But from Leaf Green, I jumped to Pokemon Diamond. And at this point in Gen 4, I was like, I really like this Pokemon thing, but Gen 4 really didn't kind of leave an impression on me as much as Ruby and Leaf Green did back when I played them when I was slightly younger. So when Gen 5 was coming out, Unova Games, I was like, yeah, this kind of looks like Gen 4 again, and I was so fucking wrong. My main problem at that point was that Gen 4 felt kind of like Gen 3 to me. And Gen 5 looked like Gen 4 to me, and what I didn't know was that Gen 5 was trying to set so many of the old traditions and standards and just come at it, just set it all on fire and come at it from a new angle. Like, they kind of fucked with the story. They had, I believe it was in Black and White 1, they had all new Pokemon until end game, I believe. Where you wouldn't see...
and they have aged up protagonists too. They were like 15 years old.
Wow, those kids are old as fuck.
Yeah,
So,
they were kind of growing up with me.
Were the starters, like in Unova region, the starters were so different than what we've gotten.
There was Tepig, Oshawott, and what was the other one?
Snivy.
Oh yeah, the snaky guy. Yeah.
So like the starters, like if you look at Kanto, it's Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. It's pretty like lays out the foundation, and Johto doesn't really go far from that. Hoenn kind of stays around the same thing. Like Hoenn kind of branched out a little bit. Sinnoh, I would say kind of stayed with it, but Unova kind of just changed everything in my opinion.
They went nuts.
Piplup is a weird Pokemon for me. The one of the Gym 4 starters, where his final evolution is a steel penguin knight thing.
It's one of my favorite Pokemon now.
Yeah, Empoleon. I love it.
Yeah, Empoleon. That's just like a strange typing and a strange look for a starter.
It is weird, but I really dig the Poseidon Trident look, the regality of it.
I really like it.
The reality of it.
One of my favorite.
Okay.
It is one of my favorite.
I also really like Infernape too, even though.
Yeah, he could beat the shit out of Empoleon.
Yeah, I think I prefer Blaziken, but I still love it. It was my go-to was Chimchar.
Blaziken is probably one of the top, like everybody's opinion.
Yeah. It's just
when I look at Torterra,
yeah.
when I look at Torterra, I just think of it like, what if Venusaur was a Digimon?
Really?
That's kind of, yeah. I mean, it's just like another four-legged creature with a plan on its back.
I'm really mixed on Torterra because I kind of like it because when it says Terra, I kind of like think of like terraforming, or like it's got its own sort of tiny ecosystem on its back with the tree that I like to consider it a separate organism. Probably not in the canon, but that's what looking at the design evokes in my mind. But other than that, I think it's a little too generic for me. Like after Venusaur and Bayleaf? No.
Meganium.
Meganium, yeah.
Meganium, I kind of like its look. It doesn't really. I don't think it's a very good Pokemon to use in battle, but I like the way it looks.
The most average Pokemon.
You don't much care for it, It's too
like Chikorita. Chikorita's adorable. I like it.
Chikorita was got a lot of love because of the anime, the cartoon.
Yeah. Chikorita loved Ash in that one. I was just like, oh, that's a cute little fucking. I can't even tell you what kind of creature it looks like. It just has a.
It's just a squish.
Yeah, it doesn't even have a chin.
It's a squish.
It's like Ed from Ed, Edd and Eddy, but with a leaf on his head and with 4 legs.
It is. But I want to just say, after skipping Gen 5, my friends who were super into Pokemon in high school were like, hey, you should play X and Y, Wesker. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I fell in love with X and Y. I know a lot of people hate Gen 6, but damn, I was really into it. And sure, it has a bunch of flaws, but man, that game.
Gen 6 had a lot of cool Pokemon.
I loved the skating around. I loved. I can't forget the stretch from the second gym to the third gym. It felt like it took forever, but for the first time in a long time on my 3DS, I felt like I was actually on some kind of adventure through some land. And I played Oris. I played Alpha Sapphire because I started with Ruby, so I played the opposite one. And I got into Pokemon Moon. I'll talk more about that later, but at first I had a negative opinion, and I stopped playing Pokemon for a long while back in like 2017.
Good reason.
Yeah.
Not one of my favorite games.
Not really into it. Have you played what's it called? Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon?
Yeah, I played. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I played through Ultra Moon.
I didn't enjoy it really, and I couldn't even tell you the difference.
I didn't finish regular Moon.
Yeah.
I did play Regular Moon. I didn't finish it. I finished Ultra Moon. I can say there was a lot more improvements for it to be like the director's cut version, the definitive version of the Pokemon of that generation. Like, there's no reason to go back to the Regular Moon if you played Ultra Moon.
Oh man.
Yeah, they just added new story beats. They gave you that little dragon guy, right?
I think my thing was going all the way back to starting my Pokemon journey in Johto. I felt like I was accomplishing something going from gym to gym to gym to gym.
Yeah.
With, I guess it was Team Rocket back then, right? In Johto, it was still Team Rocket.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
And
it was
you
like a
fought them in between.
like
I
a
felt like it
defunct
was.
Team Rocket trying to find their boss.
Yeah, I was after. Yeah, because Kanto had Giovanni, right? Like,
Yes.
as a
Yeah,
gym
it was
leader.
like it kind of carried on the story of the previous game the way a sequel would, where it's just like, hey, that guy from 3 years ago kicked our ass. We got to pick up all the pieces, and this new kid's in our way.
Right, and just the whole, like, I just remember, and I guess it's because I replayed Heart Gold and Soul Silver so many times, the beginning of it with your rival and the mysterious guy that was there looking through a window stealing things, like, it felt more original than other ones. It felt good playing through it. But when I played through the Alola region, I felt like I was just being babied the whole game.
Oh, you were being baby. That's a big
And I did
deal.
not like it. And that's why I don't like it.
Chico.
Like, the whole, like, understand they tried to make it different and they tried to change things up with the whole trials, but I did not agree with. It just felt boring. Such a boring game.
I think it's definitely an issue where I'm currently playing through it again after so long, and every single thing that happens, I pretty much get at least two separate tutorials. One of which is forced, the other which is sometimes optional, sometimes not. It feels. And there was a moment where a character went in after my trial after I fought Mallow, well, I didn't fight her. I fought what is it called? Some praying mantis fellow, Lomantis or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting fight, but hey, I did it on my first try. Not to brag, because Pokemon's supposed to be an easy game, but I'll get to that later with Moon. But yeah, like a guy walked in, he's like, "Hey, you beat the trial, good job." And he walked out, and then he's like, "Hey, follow me to the lab. We need to go take the island mega trial or some shit." So I follow him out because the game forces me to. And then he turns to me again. He says, "Oh, hey there. So you beat the trial, huh?" And it's like, do you really got to reiterate this, man? Do we really?
I hate it when it really just is on rails.
It is.
Where it's you kind of have the illusion of choice where, hey, you get to do these trials and they all offer a unique experience from like what we had in the past, which was gym puzzles.
Yeah.
We have these trial
Gimmicks.
mini game challenges things. I thought those were interesting.
They're neat.
And they
I
kind of
did
had
like that.
they had like a little cinematic thing to them, and you didn't have to worry about NPC trainers that were just kind of hanging around with no sense of purpose other than padding.
They're there to stop you.
Yeah, the problem I had is trials. I wish you could kind of pick your own order. I wish you could do that with trials. And I will say this as far as like the difficulty, in Ultra Moon and Ultra Sun, it's a little bit more difficult. It skips more tutorials, and honestly, I want to say your mileage varies with Gen 6 and onwards.
Yeah.
If you have the EXP share disabled versus leaving it on. Because when I played X and Y and the EXP share as it is now, where everybody gets experience, was new, I had like a level 72 Delphox by the end of my playthrough.
My God.
And it
Is
was
that even optional anymore? Can you turn it off anymore?
You could not turn it off in Let's Go at all. I think you could turn it off in
I have my game right here.
Sword and Shield. And another thing, Sun and Moon added that carried on into Sword and Shield is you now gain EXP when you catch a Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So that if you caught the Pokemon, it wasn't all for naught. you didn't miss out on grinding just for playing the game. And
Right.
I thought that was really smart, just with the catch EXP and turning off the EXP share. You kind of had a very a pleasant romp from that point onwards. Even though I was still kind of, I kind of, how would I say it? I drifted off a little bit when they were doing all the story bits. And
You weren't into it, like the multiple alternate dimension stuff, alternate universe.
It's just the side characters talk a lot, and they did the stupid, they did the lip flaps for their mouth, even though they didn't say anything because there's no voices in the game.
Not even Japanese.
Why did they go through all the trouble to do all these camera angles and lip flaps and all the cinematic stuff that you can't skip through, just to kind of stop you from going where you're going on your own?
Brandon, don't you know? Pokemon desperately so wants to be a real game, but Game Freak gets crunched too much by the executives despite all the money they got, so they don't have time to make a real game.
I don't feel like that's the case, though. I feel like
there's a lot of controversy with Sword and Shield when it came out.
I feel like that's the perspective, but I don't feel like that's the case.
I think Sun and Moon had a lot of fucking... I think Sun and Moon had a lot of elbow grease put into it.
Yeah, you think...
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon was just an annual release. You didn't... There's no excusing it.
Right. I mean, so with... I'm going to look at the games and the release dates, but I don't feel like they're put on a crunch, quote unquote.
Because I feel like all the Pokemon mainline games, or maybe even some spin-off games, there's always a new Pokemon game each year, or at least new Pokemon content around October of November.
Right. Since '99 at least, because that's when Yellow came out.
No. There was a wide gap from when we got stuff from Emerald.
Here's the release timeline.
And from Sinnoh to Gen 5, and from Gen 5 into Black 2 and White 2.
The release timeline is Red and Green, and I guess that would be in Japan. We didn't. We got Red and Blue in '98, and then '97 we didn't get any till '99 when Yellow came. Right.
I don't know. I was 3 back then.
I mean, we probably got Pokemon on the
first gen, so I don't know what. This is just
Pokemon Stadium. There's a lot of spin-off Pokemon games that happened.
That's probably what was filled in between. So let's see. Yeah, there's Pokemon Stadium, and I know Snap was a thing. I feel like back then it was more different involvement into Pokemon, which may be why it's so popular now. Yeah. And it wasn't just, here's one game, I want you to play it and like it, and you'll get another one next year. That's just kind of how it has happened. It's not, I don't think it's what we really anticipated, but it's just how it's happened.
I think it was something that it really spread across multiple mediums. You had the anime, you had the trading card game, you had the video game, and you even had a video game based off the trading card game. It was a little bit of everything, including the merchandise, because they were so gosh darn cute.
That's where the money lies, the merchandise.
Right.
You get a little fucking pin with a Pikachu at the end of it, and you'll try to stick it up your nose, but the Pikachu is too big.
Oh, yeah. So,
some Pikachu.
They have a release timeline. It's loosely, I guess, what we got. So Gold and Silver was in '99. Yellow was in '98.
Wait, hold on. I just remember something. Yeah, did I ever tell you about the shittiest Pokemon toy I ever had?
No.
So, I've always wanted a Pokeball. Just something that I could throw around, or that I could just hold and be like, wow, it's just like the show.
Just the one that you broke.
Is this the one?
Anyway,
you on at
it was a heavy flashlight in the shape of a Pokeball.
Oh.
And the only way you could turn it on is by hitting the button, and when you hit the button, the top kind of flies up, and you just see all the battery components inside. You can't fit anything in there, but it's just so huge. So you just had a heavy flashlight that you hold around like an idiot.
And you just shine it on the wall and go, Pokemon symbol.
Yeah.
That's some
And
fucking
then I threw it
poverty
and
right there.
I threw it and I broke it because it was so heavy.
Wow.
So,
Fuck
I
poverty.
remember you breaking that. Okay, so Gold and Silver was released in 99. And then Crystal was released in 2000. 2001 for America.
Oh.
Because of that. But we didn't get Ruby and Sapphire until 2003. So there was 2 years where they didn't give us...
That was a significant jump of hardware, though.
Right, that was, what, Game Boy Color to Game Boy Advance?
Yeah, that was Game Boy, which is like... It's not... maybe Game Boy Color would be like... Maybe equivalent to NES? I don't know. But, yeah, that Game Boy Advance there is like a fucking Super Nintendo at the very least.
So
Yeah.
then...
The
Ruby
Game Boy
and
Color is
Sapphire
most like an NES.
was released March of 2003. Ruby and Sapphire was. So that, like...
Spring. Didn't make it for Christmas.
Right, and then September 9th of 2004 was Fire Red and Leaf Green. And then May of 2005 was Pokemon Emerald. So I don't think they've really followed the same pattern they release it at now. And by going by that pattern, we're supposed to be getting Arceus, Legends, whatever, the beginning of next year, quarter 1, quarter 2, which would give us that same time frame.
Yeah, okay.
But I don't think getting Arceus next year... I think that will be our Pokemon game for the year. I don't know... If they're putting their time in the Arceus, there's no way we're getting another Pokemon game. Unless they do like they're doing right now with the Diamond and Pearl remakes and doing a third party, that we're getting anything quarter 4 of 2022.
I can see that being like a dry spell. Because people are
Because
going to be busy
Pokemon
with...
Snap comes out in a couple months. 2 months, I think. The end of April.
What's coming out again?
The new Pokemon Snap, I think is April release, like the end of April.
Yeah, I think so.
So that would give us Pokemon Snap, and we can assume September to October to maybe November, Diamond and Pearl remake.
You think it's
And
going to be like only a few months away right now?
Yeah, and then probably the beginning of summer next year we'll probably get Legends. Because they said, unless it gets delayed, which today's day and age, yeah, could be the case.
Yeah, with the working conditions now.
Yeah, but they said that they showed us just a little bit, and it's just now in production, so they only have a year to give us whatever. So I don't know exactly if they're using existing like software to make the game, because I don't think they just created what they have ground up.
Yeah.
They probably use a very similar engine to like Breath of the Wild, which is why it looks like it does.
They probably just threw in the engine, yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, think back to the wild area. The wild area was just a tech demo for this Pokemon Legends thing that they're about to do.
Yeah, you
Same
know what
with
I
the
fucking
DLC.
said? You know what I fucking said when I... Okay, I said this when Breath of the Wild came out, before the wild area was even shown, before Sword and Shield was announced. I fucking said... I looked at this Breath of the Wild game, I was like, yeah, you know what? A Zelda's kind of neat here, kind of fucking empty, I don't know. I'm seeing the same enemies over and over again. You know what'd be really cool here with like the stamina and all, and climbing and exploring caves and shit? A fucking Pokemon game where you put fucking Pokemon in those caves, you put Pokemon in all the different biomes and terrain, and it's just a fucking match made in heaven. And here we are now.
And to be fair, since Let's Go and Sword and Shield and what looks like is about to happen in Legends, I like the roaming wild Pokemon as opposed to the random bushy grass encounters that were just the only standard up until that point, because I like seeing Pokemon in the world in their respective biomes roaming and getting away from you and stuff.
I do like that too. Like, some of them are attracted to you, some of them are like minding their own business, and some of them are just like getting away from I did like the different movements you see from the Pokemon. I like how it does add a lot more to the game than
Yeah, it felt like a
throwing
modern
it back to
RPG
Ruby and
approach.
Sapphire. Yeah, or like Emerald, where you're just running through grass and bridges and you don't see anything.
Okay, so all I've said so far, I've been building up to my perspective on this news and what's been shown. I think I have a really weird perspective on what's going on because, like I said earlier, when Gen 4 came out, I kind of didn't give a shit too much about it. Like it was fun. I enjoyed it. I beat the game, but beyond that, not much. I played with my friends Game Shark, and it was an action replay, and I got to get all the event Pokemon without going to actual events. Yeah, but I am in a position where I see this Gen 4 remake that everyone fucking hates, and I'm like, wow, that looks really good. I actually think this is the best looking Pokemon game for me since Gen 6.
That's awful. Yeah.
And also that, but with the Arceus Legends game, or whatever it's called, I have a situation where it was what I've been saying Pokemon should do for the longest time, and I look at it, and it looks like an alpha, and I think if this is going to be it, I don't think it's going to be a great game. But knowing Nintendo and Game Freak, I think it's going to be what we're going to be getting. So I'm not really even excited at all for that.
I wouldn't say I'm not excited. It's Pokemon. I'm excited, but I'm not too into it just from like the way they sold it to us. They're just like, hey, this is before everything. It's like a prequel, if you will.
Yeah.
You get to make your own Pokédex. It's
you
kind
get
of
to marry Pokemon. It's Sinnoh.
You get to eat at the same table as Pokemon.
You get to
That's
just make your own
censored.
Pokédex, and to me, Pokemon, I like playing the games, like battling. The story has never really been what drives me to play Pokemon. I just like Pokemon and the franchise. So, and then battling, like just being better than the person I'm playing against,
Yeah.
is kind of what makes me like playing it. And I mean, you play Pokemon to beat it.
I like the art. I like the sense of whimsy. I like the music. That's what I like about Pokemon.
Yeah.
Sense of whimsy. Since when?
Since way back in the first fucking game that I didn't play. Of
Oh,
course.
you're talking about those old primitive games that let you just kind of do your own thing and explore lots of side areas
I'm
and just
talking
make
about
new
the
discoveries.
spirit of adventure. I'm talking
You're telling
about
me-
going into a cave in the middle of currents in the ocean and finding fucking Braille and being expected to understand that you need Coelacanth and that other fucking I don't even know. Wailord and crack the code. You're gonna have to ask your blind grandmother to feel the Game Boy Advance screen to tell you what the fucking Braille reads. I don't know how you're gonna manage that, but that's how you're gonna do it, bitch!
And then you're going to go back to these 3 unmarked locations that you may or may not have seen throughout the region.
Yeah.
The flavor in all the games is so unique and cool to me too. Like you're saying, like in Hoenn, like you get such a good feel from like all of that.
I love the Fortune area.
The unknowns in Johto were so cool.
Yeah.
It's like,
Although there wasn't really a payout to the whole Ruins of Alph thing in Johto.
My big sin here is that I've never played in the region of Johto. I haven't played Gold, Silver, Crystal. I haven't played Heart Gold, Soul Silver.
oh man, I wouldn't say it's my favorite game, but it's one of my favorite
Of all time.
I love it. Like, as a sequel, I think it does a lot of things beautifully.
It's so like, Brandon may not remember this, but I remember this vividly. We played Platinum, which I don't know if it was Diamond and Pearl or Platinum that the reason I'm so excited for these remakes. I do remember playing through them a lot. And in that year, my brother was like just old enough to like really start playing Pokemon on his own. And he played Pearl, and I remember because he played Pearl and only used an Empoleon or a Piplup the whole game, and had a level 100 Empoleon, and that's how he beat the Elite Four.
Oh my god!
Because it's like he didn't know. He just had a level 100 Empoleon facing the Elite Four for the first time, and he beat them all.
I think a lot of us did that back in the day. Like, my Sceptile was level 100 at one point, back when I first played Ruby, because I used other Pokemon, but I'm like, my fucking Trico Grovel Sceptile is so fucking built. Why do I need to bother switching out?
Why don't I need anything else? Why don't I need this HM slave to die when I could just kill it before I die?
Yeah, who cares? One of them is, at least one or two of them are just HM slaves anyway. Like, they're just taking up space. And the thing with Sceptile specifically was I had Giga Drain on his ass, so I was getting some health back for free.
Yeah.
With
The
damage.
vampires. But I remember Heart Gold and Soul Silver releasing, and Brandon was pretty excited for it. I was pretty excited for it, and we had a really good time with that game.
Yeah, it was the first time I tried to emulate a game before it came out.
Really? How'd that go?
Because I was so excited.
It was so, like, it was, I don't know why. I really do want to say just the nostalgia of being the first Pokemon game I played ever being Silver, and we're going back to the Johto region.
Yeah.
Was so refreshing. I love the art style of the game, just the Pokemon that were in the game. Totodile is my favorite starter in the game, so just being able to just play with him was just, it was good. And then
I love
they
Typhlosion.
followed you.
For Alligator's cool too.
Followed you in 8-bit. It was so good.
That's gotta
Yeah,
feel
just having
nice.
Pokemon right on your ass, and they hadn't done that since
Yellow.
I want to say they haven't done that since Pokemon Yellow.
Yeah.
But in Diamond and Pearl and Platinum, there was the Pokepark area where they show off like the alpha version of that by they gave you like 10 different Pokemon. I don't actually know the exact number. So there's a place called like Pokemon Park or something. You go there and you can take a Pokemon with you, but it has to be like one of 10 Pokemon, and then they'll follow behind you in that area. And then they just take that whole entire idea and give it to like over 400 Pokemon in Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
That's nuts. Over 400.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's check Cerebi just for Heart Gold.
I really need to play Heart Gold or Soul Silver at some point. Just
I would emulate it. It's a pretty expensive game.
I know, like, I think it sells for like around $80.
$80.
Just the cartridge, yeah. But damn.
Was $256 total, I think, would be the first two together. $256.
That's still a lot of Pokemon.
It is, and I wouldn't say all of them were what you could get, but that would because this game, if you remember, Heart Gold and Soul Silver released after Platinum. It was the year after Platinum, and Platinum, Diamond, and Pearl gave us the new evolutions of like Gen 1 and maybe some Gen 2 Pokemon. So in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, we got access to these evolutions like Lickitung's evolution, and we got Tangrowth and things like that. Mamoswine. So like it added on to what we had before and that we already liked, and those things could follow you around. It was so good.
And in like Heart Gold and Soul Silver, you could also encounter a lot of new legendaries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? It felt like...
Yeah.
And it felt natural.
I had all the legendaries from the first two games.
So you can still go back to Kanto in Heart Gold and Soul Silver?
Yeah, once you beat that's probably the reason it's one of my favorites. Probably number one, honestly. I just would say it without looking. Having two regions and 16 gym leaders in one Pokemon game felt so expansive. It was good. It was fun. I mean,
Every time I hear that, I find it hard to believe.
You just go to Kanto when you're done, and you're just like, all right, I'm going here for whatever reason.
Does the leveling like continue from the champion, or does it like reset?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know why they can't just do that with another Pokemon game. I mean, is it because Johto and Kanto regions are so similar and connected?
It might be just because they're with every region afterwards. They may be just trying to force them to be like different, you know? Like maybe they're just trying to focus too much on being different and being
like a solo generation.
Oh no, like Game Freak, they're not afraid they like constantly mention Kanto, and I don't even care if Johto is like a tumor hanging off of Kanto. It made for some good post game.
Yeah. Well, Red and Blue,
Uh,
like they're just in like Sun and Moon, right?
Oh yeah, they're just hanging out. They're older too.
Yeah, they're just established characters in this newer Pokemon game.
Didn't really know that.
Yeah.
Like Sun and Moon's
Oh,
probably
and
my favorite.
in Gold and Silver, Blue and Red show up again, and Blue like is like a. I don't want to spoil it, but he's one of the recurring characters you see, in Gen 2. I was also like, so what I wanted to say was, I still recommend trying Pokemon Crystal just to see how advanced like a Game Boy like game can be. Not even just like a Game Boy Pokemon game.
I've been
'Cause-
watching some of Joel. I've been watching Joel play the Vietnamese version of Crystal. And so,
Oh, I see the definitive release.
yeah,
Huh.
welcome to Elf World. That's
So-
cool, fun.
I find that just because you don't like a certain game, maybe, or you don't care for that region,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you feel the same way about the list of Pokemon they have. So, like, I don't like the Alola region because of the game, but
Yeah.
I like the Pokédex that it had. It was cool. I liked how it was different. I don't think there's not a Pokédex I don't like. I like them all. I just did not like Sun and Moon as a game.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's
I
really
miss like there's one thing I miss, and it was in Generations 1 and Generations 2.
Yeah.
There's a point in those games where you get to pick your own order for certain gyms, and it felt balanced and
Yeah.
good. You
That
know,
was cool.
you're like, it kind of lets you go for a second where when you're in Kanto, and it's like, hey, you can pick any of these 3 gyms that you have access to, and it
So
won't feel like you're overpowered against any of them.
I think for Pokemon as a whole, but besides the Platinum Heart Gold era of like the back-to-back years of just having 2 really good and diverse games, and the thing about that is, Platinum kind of merged Gen 3 and Gen 4 in a way,
Yeah.
Pokédex wise, and Heart Gold and Soul Silver was the other side of that, like Gen 1 and Gen 2.
You know, I can kind of see like from Emerald to maybe Black 2 and White 2 to just be like a second renaissance to the series that a lot of people are attracted to. Like obviously there's Red and Blue all the way to Crystal, but I think as the first renaissance, but I think that second renaissance attracts a lot of people outrage specifically.
Yeah. Yeah, because like when I look back, Gold and Silver released in '99. I was 4 or 2000, I guess.
Yeah.
I was 5 years old when the game released. Like, not every 5-year-old has a Game Boy Color in the year 2000 that gets to play Pokemon.
That's
So
true.
it's not like something they're introduced to. Because I remember, like, going to the Boys and Girls Club as a kid, and they would have, like, Red and Blue, and they're just now playing Red and Blue. And I'm like, what's the big deal about this? Like, it's just Red and Blue. But everyone's like, I just got it.
But you were advanced.
Yeah, I was advanced because I had it early, at an early age. Just, but I think, in my opinion, Platinum to Black and White, the Platinum Heart Gold and Soul Silver and Black and White were probably the best years of Pokemon like game.
Yeah,
Just
you could really just like look
You
at
could
those
see
3.
the growth of where it came because it's on the DS. I mean, the DS was a fun system.
Yeah, it was wireless.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing for me because that was one thing I didn't have when I played Gold and Silver,
Yeah.
and then eventually Ruby and Sapphire was a connection cable.
But now you didn't need one.
You didn't need one, and I'm like, wow, it was so mind blowing. I just remember in Diamond and Pearl, that was kind of where it started because of the underground system, like Brandon was saying.
Yeah.
It was huge and like just expansive, but I was like in the 6th grade. I didn't care. It was Pokemon, and I was having fun. And you could talk through your DS at the time. They had
There's one thing
whatever
about
weird.
like the underground. But sorry, I'm interrupting. I wanted to talk about how amazing it was in the DS era when they have like exclusive items for games like fossils or exclusive legendaries. How satisfying it was when they opened those doors back up for you, because in like Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, if you went to the underground, you could find fossils of Pokemon from all the other regions if you're good at the minigame.
Really?
And then in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, those legendaries I was talking about, they weren't in the original game, but they managed to put them back where they would have been.
I
You know,
didn't
like,
that about fossils.
Yeah, it was. You could even find evolution stones down there.
That's so
And
cool. Yeah, I remember the digging was just so.
Boring.
And it had no reason to be fun, but it was so fun to me.
I didn't care. Okay, so that is one of the things I remember about Gen 4 is that I was having a fucking blast like as soon as the game started, but as soon as I got to Rourke's town, the fucking mining area, a lot of the fun just sucked away, like to the point where I just remember it as a very negative time in that game. But I remember a lot of other stuff like catching the lake guardians and such. That was a great time.
To me, I like their. I'm gonna look at their Pokédex, but like just to me, them in general, like the Sinnoh region.
Yeah.
I like the feel of the Pokemon they had in that region.
hey, you know what wasn't satisfying? All right, here's the difference between like something that you can put into a region that makes it way more satisfying if you've played the previous games.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mewtwo. You cannot catch Mewtwo in Silver, Gold, and Crystal in the Cerulean Cave because they got rid of that area. To, didn't have enough room, or they didn't want to keep it. In Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they bring the Cerulean Cave back, and you can go in there and catch Mewtwo.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Damn.
And then in X and Y, before you even, I don't even. Do you remember where Mewtwo was?
I actually have no idea where Mewtwo was.
What the fuck was he? I don't remember if
He
it
was
was
just
Mewtwo
somewhere
or
because-
Zygarde. I found one of them accidentally. I'm just like, oh, hello, sir.
Hello, legendary Pokemon. May I catch you today?
I guess so.
Okay.
And you need a Pokemon with Surf to catch you.
Yeah. Let me look up like the thing about Mewtwo and
He was
X
like in
and
a
Y.
cave, random area cave, and you catch him only because it was kind of a draw to buy the game in X and Y. Like to me, X and Y, it was the first Pokemon game on 3DS. They didn't need to draw people in to play Pokemon because it's just Pokemon. It draws you in automatically.
But there was a lot of nostalgia going into it.
Yeah,
There absolutely was. With Mega Evolutions, they're like,
yes.
all right, so the 3 Kanto starters get Mega Evolutions, and you can pick any of the 3 starters once you get to a different town before you beat the game. And if you get Mewtwo, he also gets a Mega Evolution.
Yeah.
Who else gets a Mega Evolution?
You name it, and they probably have one.
I
No,
really
like-
like Mewtwo Y. I don't like Mewtwo X.
They could
I
have
don't-
given Flygon a Mega Evolution.
They should have
Yeah.
given
And you-
Flygon a Mega Evolution. Flygon's
Yeah.
awesome.
So let's just look at the list. We got Venusaur. Venusaur's awesome. Of course,
Yeah, let's just talk about starter. Let's
Charizard
talk about starters.
is the face of Pokemon, whether people want to realize it or not.
Uh,
Yeah, Pikachu, blah blah blah. Yeah, Shiba, Clefairy. Charizard is the reason people like Pokemon. Charizard sells. Charizard is
he's
Like,
the
if
cool
you-
one.
yeah. If you look back to the Pokemon, the base set of the TCG, like Logan Paul, the freaking YouTuber, literally just blows up Pokemon, and all he does is just want to open Charizards. And that's what people watch is they want a Charizard. It's one of the most expensive cards that I'm aware of.
Yeah, was it a great card? Probably not. Was it sought after? Definitely. Why? It's Charizard.
People
But
like
yeah,
Charizard.
I mean, and then you have Blastoise, Alakazam, Gengar, Kangaskhan, Pinsir, Gyarados, and Aerodactyl. And then
Ammonite, slow, bro.
My
That's
favorite-
all, folks.
My favorite fossil Pokemon, I just want to say, is Kabutops. It's
Yeah.
like Scyther, but somehow more radical to me. I don't know.
And
why.
then Gen 2, you get Ampharos, which he was really cool mega. Mega Scizor, I don't know why Scizor gets such a good mega.
Two of my favorites, I don't really hear people talk about them much, but I really like Mega Medicham, and I like Mega Banette.
Really?
Yeah, I really like, especially Banette.
But then you get like Heracross gets a mega. Like
Oh, yeah.
he's literally just a Pokemon with no evolution. He's a bug and fighting. That really the only reason I really knew about him was because of the anime.
Yeah. I was going to
And
say.
then he gets a cool looking mega form. And then Houndoom, he gets a sick ass looking mega form.
I forgot
Megas
Houndoom
to
got a
me-
Mega
He
Evolution.
did?
Megas were so cool and unique.
They were
and-
basically getting Super Saiyan forms for your Pokemon.
Right. And they
Yeah.
didn't necessarily break like the VGC competitive format. I've never really experienced VGC, never really got into it. It's something that I've always been interested in, but the time and effort of breeding and the IVs, the EVs, and all that just has turned me off.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, and I think Pokemon Let's Go, like, I know that's not a game people care about competitive wise, but they did open the door pretty well with all the candy and the catch rate bonuses when you
Right,
get a
and
catch
they
combo.
really capitalized on that in Sword and Shield by the way that they did things. But the problem with that is you have Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing, and that kind of just breaks the game. Literally.
Yeah, that's-
hearing that
I
out
don't-
loud is just.
I like
Any-
Z moves. I like Mega Evolution. I
didn't really
kind of
care.
like Gigantamaxing. I don't care about Dynamax.
I do like how
what-
Z moves and Mega Evolutions were in the same game, VGC format. I do believe. I think they were. I'm not 100% on that. I think they were, though. I think you could use Z moves and Mega Evolve. And Sun and Moon, you can Mega Evolve, right?
Sun and Moon, I don't know if you can do it post game, but I can't do it yet. I am like
I
halfway
don't-
through the game.
Post game.
I don't remember. What do you mean halfway through the game? Are you playing a Pokemon game right now?
Yeah, actually, I was gonna. I kind of half mentioned it. I said I was gonna talk about it later, but I have been playing Pokemon Moon since I dropped it like back in 2017. And you know what's really weird? I've been enjoying it quite a bit, and something even stranger is happening where I don't know if I've just become a complete idiot all this time without playing Pokemon, but it's the Totem Pokemon battles are quite difficult. I find
They are.
they are.
What they were to me, and I think those.
I like those kind of big boss fights instead of
They're
But I
good.
don't
instead of
like-
doing inflation fetish on in Sword and Shield Pokemon.
Oh,
I don't like
yeah.
that.
Every time you talk about Gigantamaxing, I just think about it. It's just
Gigantism.
Like GVD art.
So my thing is, we're old now. We've grew up with Pokemon.
Yeah.
We've grown up with it. Pokemon is still intended for a younger audience. We can't forget that. So
Yeah.
whenever you take a Charizard and you give it a cool form like Gigantamax, it's appealing to a little kid.
Yeah.
It may
I
not be.
forgot
Dude,
Charizard got
Charizard
his
is
own
crazy.
Gigantamax form, and then the champion of that region is like, Charizard's my favorite Pokemon, and I Gigantamax him.
I'm
Oh, no.
Charizard super big.
And then you start off Sword and Shield's like, oh man, I can't wait to go fight Charizard.
Finishing
I
off
guess.
the list of megas, you get Tyranitar, who is one of my favorite, if not my favorite Pokemon. He gets a cool mega.
Oh my god, I forgot about fucking Mega. I forgot about Mega Kangaskhan. Where
Yeah.
the baby comes out.
Baby comes out.
Maybe
and he has-
Kangaskhan pissed me off so much with its ability.
Yeah, parental bond or whatever, and they both hit you.
It's
anytime.
so
That's cool.
it's a good idea, but when I would try to play competitive, I'd see Kangaskhan. And it's just like beating me up
Fuck
with
you,
its
Brandon.
fucking
In
abortion.
my opinion, the Hoenn region has the best megas. In my opinion, because they get Latios and Latios and Latios. Not that they look different, but they're so cool to me.
Yeah.
They get Mega Absol, Mega
I think
Manectric.
Mega Manectric looks stupid.
His lightning bolt. He looks cool.
He looks like he's wearing a lightning outfit.
And Medicham, Mega Medicham,
Yeah,
so
Mega
cool.
Medicham.
Aggron is one of my favorite Pokemon. He looks so cool. Mawile, Gardevoir,
Look,
Blaziken.
my first starter was a Trico. I like Trico's design. I like Grovel's design. I never liked Sceptile's design. But Mega Sceptile, baby, that is much better.
I love it. I love Sceptile, and only because of the
You're
anime.
saying Grovel.
Is it Grovile?
I don't care how you
Grovel. That's how he says it in the anime.
Punchy
Well, I don't
Rock,
watch the
Rock,
anime much. I'm sorry.
Grovel.
I stopped when they went to Hoenn. I liked the Kanto and the Johto, but after that, I didn't.
All of those I just listed. Oh, and Garchomp, Lucario, and Abomasnow. That was all introduced in X and Y.
That's really
So,
good.
The Megas.
oh, hold on, I gotta let my cat in the room.
Yeah, I think they were pretty cool. Also,
you know what?
You know what? Yeah.
I was gonna say, you know what X and Y also gave me, which I love. It gave
Herpes?
me Goomy. It
So
gave
then-
me. I'm sorry. What?
What'd you say?
I said, you know what X and Y also gave me that I love? It
No.
gave me Goomy, it gave me Phantom,
Oh,
it gave me
yes.
Trevenant, and
Yes.
it gave me the Goth Hex Maniac.
Yeah, I like all those. Not so much the weird goth Pokemon, but I like the others.
Hex
Goomy's
Maniac
look-
isn't a Pokemon, but it's a trainer.
Oh yeah, they got. No, I thought you meant the Gothitelle or whatever. The weird.
That's Gen 5.
that
That's
one's
Gen 5.
alright. Was it Twin
Yeah.
Tella or some shit?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Dude, but X and-
Gatita.
So
Yeah.
what I want to know for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, when they remade Oris, they obviously, looking at the timeline, let's see, Omega Ruby was after X and Y, which introduces Mega Evolution, and they added on to that. So are they gonna add on? No, they can't because it's not within Sword and Shield. So
They're gonna
see
have
where
Gigantamax, Dialga,
Shut up.
Gigantamax, Palkia.
there.
And then
See,
there's
I'm-
gonna be a Gigantamax raid for the big arc.
Giratina.
Yeah, Giratina. That's the one.
So my thing is, it's obviously gonna be separate. It's not really quote unquote gonna be the mainstream game.
Hmm.
It's a remake on a new console.
By a separate team.
That's new. Yeah, that's the coolest thing to me. Man, there's so much to get into. I don't
The
understand
coolest
like
thing to you is that it's outsourced.
He loves that.
how
the different
often does
developers
that
Video
happen.
games.
How often does a mainstream Pokemon game get outsourced with Game Freak's approval?
Whenever
Never.
they make a spin-off, whenever they do Coliseum and XD
You
Gale
said
Darkness.
mainstream. You
I said mainstream.
Yeah. So-
Exactly.
You said
It
spin-off.
It's
Those
still
aren't
the same.
Those are opposites.
There's still RPGs
So
with
no, okay.
Pokemon.
Here's the thing. Diamond and Pearl came out in 2006. It's been 15 years since we got that game. Why would they make it different for a new console? There's no reason to do that.
Because they want the new features to carry over into those so that people will buy Sword and Shield.
The new
Are
features-
you asking why
this
it's on the
is-
Switch?
No, he's asking why would they change anything when my gripe is it doesn't look like they've made enough of an effort to change the overall experience.
Oh God! Oh, that reminds me the triggering, the triggering at the beginning of the fucking podcast. It's all coming back to me now, Brandon. This is all your fault.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
personally,
Look.
and I know I'm in the minority, I guess, but I
Let's hear it.
personally really enjoy how it looks so much like the game that we first got.
Yes. And okay, here is my perspective. Okay,
I have the game.
my name
No.
is WeskerPawnch. Wesker comes from the Resident Evil series. That's where that derives from. Recently, okay, so in the Resident Evil series, there is a game called Resident Evil 1 Remake, which I think is a 10 out of 10 game. I think it's one of the best games ever made, ever. And it is super faithful, and it adds a few stuff, but it's mostly just keeping in line with the original vision of the game, not messing with too much stuff. However, this is very controversial to people, and people know what I'm talking about, probably, if they know who I am. But Resident Evil 2 Remake came out a couple years ago, and everyone loved that game. I think it's a hot pile of shit. Because it does not... It tries to do something different, and in doing something different, it actively takes away from what was good about that game. They actually remove features that made...
Oh, you mean streamlining?
Yeah, they streamlined the fuck out of it when they didn't even need to, because it just made every playthrough that much more unique back when it was... back when there was more stuff that carried over between different scenarios, and when the scenarios were a lot more unique. And I haven't played Resident Evil 3 Remake yet, but I hear it's the same thing. And I'm at a place in my life where I see a remake that doesn't change much, and I'm like, thank fucking Christ! Thank God they didn't just take a big heaping pile of shit on it. And it's just...
Yeah, wouldn't it be great if they didn't add any new Pokemon either? Or...
Yeah. It would,
How about they just only give us
fuck
4
new
directions?
Pokemon. Fuck
my
new Pokemon.
opinion in the game. My opinion. The Pokédex that you get in Platinum, which I
No
don't
falling
know.
Pokemon, no roaming Pokemon.
I don't know if we will get, like we said earlier, if we're going to get Platinum game with the names of Diamond and Pearl, or if we're going to get Diamond and Pearl, which I find it very hard to believe. So if we look back at Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire...
Are we still talking about if Platinum content will be in?
It will be.
I mean, yeah, there's no question about that. It's
Are you
just
sure, though?
there-
Are we sure?
there
We
wasn't
don't know
that
how
much.
but there at least will be like some stuff.
No, all of it will be in there. There's no doubt, because these definitive versions, like when you get Diamond and Pearl, and then Platinum, and then Ruby and Sapphire, and then Emerald, and when you get Gold and Silver, and then Crystal, they don't add very much at all.
Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire didn't have Battle Frontier from Emerald, did it?
Here's what fucking happened. A lot of people just speculate that they didn't have enough time to complete the Battle Frontier that was in Emerald, and that was the only piece of content from Emerald that wasn't there.
Wait.
And I would argue that's the most important thing about Emerald, is having the post-game amusement park.
Hold on, Brandon. Are you saying Game Freak maybe didn't have enough time to...
Because they had a fucking statue of it. And it said, here are the plans to build the Battle Frontier.
Do you think that this might be because the executives, the suits of the company, might be trying to push out these games super fast with their yearly releases, and perhaps the quality is getting hurt by that fact of each game?
Maybe not the quality, but maybe the fucking... Well, because, it didn't hurt the engine. You still catch Pokemon, you still battle trainers, it's not a buggy mess. But overall... if we want to talk about quality in terms of just the fucking adventure, the experience, you feel like something got cut out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how you mentioned the buggy mess thing, because real quick, when I watched the Pokemon Legends or Arceus Legends or whatever it's called, I still don't know the name, but man,
Arceus.
It sounds like an anime name.
It does. Like Pokemon Origins back when that came out. That was a great anime. I missed that.
Pokemon Advanced Battle.
Pokemon.
I think there was an anime season called Pokemon Legends. Yeah, there was a thing called... I think it was Pokemon Legends, where it was just a bunch of filler talking about what the people back in Kanto were still up to. And it went over like Misty and Richie and
that's nice. That's really nice.
So this is the one thing, thinking back, like playing, I guess it was Platinum. My favorite feature in the game is post-game, you beat Platinum.
Yeah.
And there was like, was it a dojo? It was something post-game and you could battle other gym leaders from other regions.
Wait, which game are we talking about?
Pokemon Platinum.
Oh, well, you could also rematch leaders and, our Gold, Soul, Silver.
I think it was called the Fighting Dojo. No, what was it called? What was the Fighting?
Anyway, are we still on the topic of post-game content and these things where they're like, meant to surprise the players while also kind of catering to their expectations of what should already be there?
This is definitely post-game content by the sounds of it. If other gym leaders are coming in.
It is post-game, but I don't remember exactly what it was called. Yeah.
I think it's important to let you fight gym leaders when they're the strongest they possibly can be in the post-game as rematches. That's good. I think there should also be like a super challenge at the very end, like Red or Steven.
You mean a super boss?
I think, super boss. I think Cynthia was a super boss in Gen 5.
The Battleground is what it was called. You remember this?
Yeah, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds.
Yeah. PUBG. I played.
So Battlegrounds was kind of like the Frontier, I guess, in Sinnoh. And you rematch the strongest.
Sinnoh already had a Battle Frontier.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Or the survival area, the battle zone, whatever.
The PUBG.
Yeah. So I remember Platinum was actually the first game I got a level 100 Pokemon, which was my Charizard, because that was the only thing I used to level up everything with experience share because of the survival area. Solely used Charizard. I don't know why. It was just my thing. Was use Charizard and click Flamethrower.
And just watch it melt.
Yeah, watch everything melt. There was no not melting.
It's not very effective. Enemy has fainted.
I want to say let's see, the battle zone. I don't really know what it's called, but I guess it's the battleground. You could fight not just the gym leaders from Sinnoh. And I could be wrong. I could be thinking about another game, but I feel like this is one.
You're not talking about the tournament that was in Gen 5, right? Where you could fight gym leaders.
No, because my Pokemon experience, like I said, I've played every Pokemon upon release, but not until Platinum. Like Platinum or Heart Gold and Soul Silver and Black and White were really the extent of like getting the game on release and really playing it because I liked it so much. And then I don't know why after that, like Black and White 2, I guess, kind of meh. I was just like, it's the same game, yeah.
Yeah, Black and White 2, I feel personally
X and Y
took a step. It took a step back from Black and White.
And honestly, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire was the game. I was probably just kind of done. Like, I played it.
Oh, that's right. You complained about Oris.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Really? Huh.
I don't know why.
I loved Oris.
I also loved Oris, but once again, I'm a Gen 3er, so nostalgia was strong.
I want to replay. I want someone to replay this game with me. Replay it through with it.
I could play through Oris. I could beat that in a day. It's fine.
Yeah,
like, I like
that.
Because that's about the game.
I don't even remember what I did in my last save file.
I don't know. It was fun. I just never beat it. Like, when I played, pretty sure I played Ruby was the version I played. And that may have been why I didn't like Alpha Sapphire. I just didn't like Team Aqua.
Well, actually, I think I have Omega Ruby. I haven't played that one yet, so instead of erasing my Alpha Sapphire, I could just play Omega Ruby for the first time.
I don't know. But to me, like Pokemon as a whole, just looking at this list of release dates and all the games, I haven't played one other than Sun and Moon that I just dredged through and didn't like it. And honestly, I did like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire because they added all of these new evolutions, the mega evolutions. Like we get Beedrill gets a mega evolution, Pidgeot, Slowbro, Steelix, Swampert.
Well, were you just like burnt out maybe?
Yeah, I think that's what it
Just
was.
too much
And we
Pokemon.
get because this was really the only game that I had a 3DS for.
I can see that.
And
I think
they just
also-
introduced so many cool Pokemon Mega Evolution.
In Gen 6, like X and Y, and then Alpha Ruby, Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, they introduced lots of good quality of life features that not only made offline play great, like a Pokemon game should, every modern game should have good offline play. And then they had good online interaction too, where you could look at the bottom screen at any point, you can see what friends are online, you could send them challenges from the bottom screen, you could send random people on the bottom screen challenges and stuff. And you could just, no matter where you are in your adventure, you could just kind of tap, all right, we're trading and battling and stuff. Or I'm adding you as a friend on the console.
So the
Now-
recent years, Pokemon has had terrible online interaction.
And Sword and Shield has some dog shit online player interaction. I think in Sun and Moon they send you to a theme park, and just so they could dance around the idea of like, hey, we can't do a seamless online play interaction.
I don't know what their problem is with
Like
that
the
either.
Festival Plaza or something?
Yeah, it's awful. Why? Why do I have to jump through hoops?
I haven't
Well,
even touched that.
Sword and Shield, I don't like it. You can't just select your friend from a friend list and play with them. They have to like use the same code as you, and you have to set a privacy setting just so. And you gotta stand around and wait, and sometimes it doesn't even go through.
You gotta follow the very specific geocaching coordinates to
So
get
I
where you
think
need to be.
thinking back, I confused the concept. In Platinum, you could re-battle the gym leaders in Platinum.
Ah, okay. Just not
And
out of
Heart
region.
Gold and Soul Silver had the other region. Like maybe it was just Kanto and
Johto.
Oh, and by
Johto.
stuff, I mean you could announce like status messages or something, like catchphrases. You could be like,
Burn.
"Hi,
Yeah.
I am penis," or
The
"I am
fighting-
burning."
The fighting
I am
dojo.
Fat Cockman. Hello, time to battle.
That's a lot. That's like I think like an 18 character limit.
Yeah, you could re-battle the 16 gym leaders you've beaten.
It's all coming back to me with X and Y, not with whatever the fuck you guys are talking about, but for X and Y, like I just remember the list of my friends on the bottom and all the dumb shit they were saying. That was really good. I liked that.
Yeah.
That was cute.
I also like I also appreciate how the map was always on the bottom screen if you wanted it there.
Yeah, it was cool.
Here's something I don't like. Sword and Shield, it's so linear. You don't need a map.
Oh.
You're
So
literally
this
going
is-
in a straight line.
So this is on topic, but not on topic. So
Let's hear
your
it.
whole point is you have Pokemon Diamond and Platinum or Pearl already, so you don't want to replay what they're gonna release on the Switch. So why is that the case for The World Ends With You, Brandon?
Well, that's a new game. Well, actually, that's a fair point.
Mhm. Why has he replayed that game, the same one, 5 times, and he's okay with it on 5 different ways to play it?
Yeah, Brandon, what the fuck is up with your World Ends With You addiction?
So the World Ends With You final mix on Nintendo Switch introduced another chapter, which is like 3 episodes worth extra to the story.
Mm-hmm.
And it changed the ending a little bit, so it's like a teaser for the upcoming sequel, which is Neo: The World Ends With You. I'm very excited for that sequel to one of my favorite games of all time. As to why I bought The World Ends With You on DS and then on mobile and then on Switch, which is the mobile version with a few extra tweaks, is I don't know. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If it wasn't for the story content, I was really ow, fuck, I hit my toe. I was reaching for a new sequel and all of that, because God, Square Enix, it didn't feel like they cared about that series anymore.
Okay, but
I call it a series. Did you hear me call it a series? There's only
it's a
one
series
game
of
in it.
One game, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but what if the Pokemon Double and Penetration remakes get this super cool Darkrai episode at the end of the game, including like the Distortion World and not Arceus.
Yeah,
God damn it.
Arceus.
Stop calling
Arceus.
Giratina Arceus. It's
Oh,
Giratina.
Giratina.
I don't know why I keep doing that, but yes. What if there's just like a Darkrai episode, or maybe like an episode for every like Cresselia? Who the fuck even remembers that thing? But yeah,
Also,
Cresselia.
I mean, Diamond and Pearl already were not my favorite Pokemon games, so it's hard to put it next to The World Ends With You, which is one of my favorite games. And I would still say like my favorite Pokemon games fall in line with like Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 5, Gen 6, and Gen 4. I felt like it was like how do you describe it? It felt big, but it felt empty to me.
You know what I
So,
see when I see these remake graphics and the overworld sprites, the 3Ds, the models? I see like Nindoroids. I don't see
Oh.
like pop figures, but I see Nindoroids.
It's a little
Absolutely, I didn't want to say that because it sounded too obvious.
And I like Nindoroids, so.
Oh my god!
So if you look, okay, my thing is, why would you want to play the same game but different, and not just the same game?
Because I like the different part.
Well, my thing, like, yeah, but it's not different. Diamond and Pearl remakes are the
Because
same.
the idea is Pokemon is a
But it looks
series
like
that
Nindoroid.
evolves.
It looks.
Pokemon is a series that evolves between iterations. And what was so exciting about Oris is you will have Pokemon all the way up to Gen 6 in your Pokédex that you can catch.
My friend has told me this many times. Pokemon does not evolve. It innovates with every entry, and then it throws out the majority of the stuff it finds, even if it's good or bad. It just throws it out and does new stuff the next game.
Yeah,
I think
so
I
there's
said
no
that.
reason, just because they showed us a 2-minute clip video of what this game's gonna be, that it's not gonna have anything innovative in it.
Anyway,
Yeah, it's a teaser
not-
trailer.
not the innovative stuff. Not like the fucking Pokegear with a radio, or the Pokenav with the phone claws, or the fucking Poketch that's green and it has a little step counter and a calculator.
What if,
And,
what if Gary
super effective-
motherfucking Oaks drives
super-
up to you with his 18 bitches in his like 20-foot long convertible? That's probably not the name of the car.
That'd be a good throwback feature. But
Yeah,
anyway,
he gives you, he
as
gives
far as
you
like
your Z ability, Mega Evolution Ring, your cock ring that does all the magical powers that you want to do, and he's like,
yeah,
hey,
it turns me
you
to
know
a magical
what?
girl.
You know what? Here's all my 10 gym badges from Kanto. Stick them in, and you unlock a new feature, which is the W moves, which are like Z moves but better, and it's like all just for Gigantamaximum Pokemons.
I
Okay,
don't
so
know what.
all that aside, all these amazing new features that you mentioned aside,
That are totally real.
so as far as like quality of life features, that I totally fall within the realm of expectation. Not like Pokeathlon, or well, I guess no longer the Battle Frontier. I guess I can't expect that anymore. Is the higher Pokédex, rematches, running in multiple directions.
no.
Who's to say you
No
can't do
multiple
that?
directions. Fuck you.
That's like my bare bone expectations that have nothing to do with like
Like,
quality of life feature. Competitive, like new way to
no.
like get EVs and IVs the way you want them.
I want cute new characters to get fan art. That's what I want.
Oh,
So, the thing to note here is if we look at other released Pokemon games,
Yeah.
when Crystal was done for Gold and Silver, it was done on the same platform the Gold and Silver is on. When Emerald was done after Red and Leaf Green, it was
Crystal
done.
Game Boy Color exclusive,
Yeah, but still, it had the same.
and it had extra animations.
Anyway, Emerald goes off of Ruby and Sapphire. maybe it was on the Game Boy Advance SP instead of the Game Boy Advance.
No. Game Boy Advance was its own platform. SP was just an updated model like the DS Lite.
Yeah, right. So I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Diamond and Pearl gets Platinum, which the DSi and the DS was the difference, and then Heart Gold and Soul Silver is still would be DSi era, and then Black and White would have been DSi as well, but it changes in X and Y, goes to 3DS, and
Then
Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon.
Yeah,
All of that was on
the 3DS.
pretty much kind of the same technology in a way. Like, it wasn't too different, but it wasn't the same. So they could do different things, add different things, change different things. We're going back 15 years on a Nintendo Switch and putting a Pokemon game on the Switch. There's not anything, they're not going off of the engine they just used for the last Pokemon game and giving us this. They're giving us.
Okay, I don't think
By the way-
there's any substantial difference between the Game Boy Advance and the SP or the DS and the DSi. Those are just two different models in the same generations. They have added features, but the guts, I believe, are exactly the same. It's just them getting more used to the hardware in general over time. As in
And if you go like Game Boy Advance to DSi or DS 3DS even, there's no reason that they can't just go back to the Game Boy Advance and pull things that they've done and used.
Well, they
Update
should be doing that, yeah,
get to the
but
3DS.
they don't do that.
So-
That's not Game Freak's MO.
Well, what they're doing with Diamond and Pearl remakes is it's on the 3DS. We haven't had, or it's on the Switch. We haven't had a game on Switch that is like an old Pokemon game
Yeah.
that they can do that with.
Well, hold on. Wasn't Let's Go kind of like the
It's
isometric?
not.
Yeah, doesn't Let's Go just inherently exist now? And it's kind of setting. It was supposed to like set a standard, like a side
You
series.
thought it was supposed to set a standard.
That's a pretty good thought. I liked it, and it sold well, and it could work.
And who said to say they're done with it? How do we not know that in 2022 Q4 that we're not gonna get Pokemon Let's Go Johto or
Yeah, let's go to Johto, but also go back to Kanto.
Let's Go
Let's Go
whatever, and it's gonna be exclusively. To me, I don't see them dropping the Let's Go name. I don't see them dropping that and not returning to that. I just don't think that right now, with it being the 15-year anniversary of two pretty good games, that they're gonna just not address it. So we get that this year, which is really cool. I guess this happens every year. So this time next year, when there's a Pokemon Direct, hopefully they're gonna say, "Hey, check out this game," and it's gonna be Let's Go Johto.
I don't know. I think we'll have to wait and see. You said it sold
Oh,
really
and-
well, Brandon?
Huh? Yeah,
Yeah.
it sold decently.
Let's Go Johto sold like 30 million copies, or Let's Go
Yeah,
Pikachu
let's go
Eevee,
to Kanto.
13 million, over 13 million in 2020.
Let's go home. Let's go to Pokemon Home.
Let's go to 7.
Oh, by the way-
I want some
And I love that game, by the way. It looked good. It felt good. Playing that game with just your Joy-Cons disconnected and your thing just like your Switch is propped up, it felt good. I
I
liked
forgot
it.
Pokemon Home existed, actually.
I don't necessarily think that I could live without it, but I liked it.
Is Home the application to it's like Pokemon Bank? Pokebank?
Yeah.
All right, that actually I kind of wanted to mention that, where because we were talking about National Dex with the Diamond and Pearl remakes a bit ago, and if you recall, one of the big problems with Sword and Shield originally was that it didn't have a National Dex, and I just wanted to say that my take on that was that I actually don't think I'd have a problem with it if they didn't have all the Pokemon preceding it. However, even though the game is about it's about catching them all, and having a big collection of different Pokemon, the big problem I had with that fact is that people are paying for a service for Pokemon they can't use in the latest games.
Right.
And that's just kind of is sucky.
It's just a way
It's
for them
silly.
to keep up with their game. I don't really think that, as a Pokemon fan, I don't see it as Game Freak or Nintendo. Whoever is doing Pokemon Home, I don't see them doing that as a way to make money. I more so see it as a way that they're just like, hey, we understand that you caught these Pokemon on so-and-so, and we want you to be able to use those because they mean something to you at a later time.
Mm.
I just see it as
By
more of
the
a
way-
service of you being able to keep up with your Pokemon and not have them across 7 different consoles and not knowing what's where and how to get it here.
But you still
Yeah, I mean,
think-
it makes sense. Like,
That's
eventually. Wait, is Flygon usable in Sword and Shield?
I don't know.
Yeah, you'll get Flygon someday, and we'll probably even nerf him again. But
My original gripe for Sword and Shield was the Pokédex, and they didn't have every single Pokemon. But I quickly got over that once I enjoyed the game and playing through it.
I still think that wild area looks like piss.
I don't really care what it looks like.
Wild Area and Sword and Shield.
The raids are fun.
Yeah.
Raids are cool. Raids are into it.
Raids are fun. I mean, they better be fun, otherwise nobody would play them. I would love to play more raids with you, Spader. There might have been a moment where I might have like swapped back and forth between Spader and Caleb. Sorry about that.
I think I did earlier. Yeah, sorry. I just not
Hey,
used
my
to it.
name's Caleb, by the way. Yeah, it's fine. You call me whatever. I answered everything.
Spader.
Yeah.
Okay,
He is
cockfuck.
in. Oh, I don't answer that.
I don't answer to that. Not since the accident.
Flygon
My
is
son.
in.
That seems like
Flygon
right.
is in Sword and Shield. Which makes me ask the question, why didn't he get a Gigantamax form? Anyway.
I haven't played Sword and Shield yet, but you know what? I think I'm gonna pick it up someday since I'm enjoying Moon so much. I think
I'm currently replaying through Sword and Shield, and Brandon's definitely not interested because he's Brandon.
Yeah,
But
he drops games. Yeah.
No, this has nothing to do with that. Our local card shop, I saw in the Discord earlier that they are talking about doing VGC, and that's probably something that I'm interested in. Because I'm sure the access to get someone to help me with the breeding process or the training
Yeah, I'll
process
help you breed, bro. I'll just stick it in.
is a lot easier than it would have been 4 or 5 years ago when I was really interested.
You guys are gonna breed together at Ram Ranch?
Dun, 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 dun.
Of course, we could make it through one episode of that.
No, we gotta be on brand. It's gotta be Moo Moo Ranch.
On brand, on breed.
Yeah, like in Gold and Silver, there's Moo Moo Ranch.
Yeah.
And you see the cowboys in the yard.
Hex Maniac selling that milk.
So, Maniac. So, with all this being said about the Diamond and Pearl remakes, it's more so a port on a new console.
Yeah. No,
But
it's
that
definitely a
doesn't mean-
remake. Definitely a remake. Brandon, this is something else. Brandon was like saying it's not a remake, it's a something or other.
No, I'm saying, well, from what they've shown us so far, like, obviously there might be something down the pipeline for them to, like, shove in our faces, because, it's about suspense.
So,
Let's keep them on their toes. Let's keep them
My
wanting more.
question.
I was saying it's like, maybe it's like a refresh or a remaster.
Yeah,
if it's
no.
too
So-
similar.
No.
Here's a question then, Brandon. Since you're so against this game, if they were to announce this in the way they did, and who's the other company, the third party, Ilka?
Yeah.
Say
Platinum
that
Games.
the same exact scenario, but instead we get Heart Gold and Soul Silver, or just Gold and Silver even, in the same style.
I think I've played enough Gold and Silver. It's hard.
No,
It's
I
hard
think
to,
you're
like,
just saying
not
that
what-
to defend your
It's
case.
hard to not have the expectation
You would buy that. Day one.
Pokemon with their models running around in the overworld, like around the grass or in the water, like that felt so vibrant when I was playing that in Let's Go and Sword and Shield. I'm like, all right, there are some things I didn't like about Let's Go that they could definitely fix by letting me turn off the EXP share that's just inherently programmed into it. But I love seeing the Pokemon run around, and if there's a shiny, I'll recognize it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
No, I do think this is my personal opinion. The Switch, or this is just my view of things. The Switch is the console that we will get moving forward, no matter what. There's no more. The Switch is a handheld. The Switch
3DS
Lite.
is dead.
there's no going back from the Switch. There's not going to be just a console from now on.
It's a hybrid.
Yeah, well, this is what we have.
Yeah.
We don't have the old Pokemon games on these consoles. So what they effectively did with Diamond and Pearl being remade is they're giving them an engine to do that and introduce the other generations for people down the line at a later point in time.
Mm.
So say, like I said, next year we could get whatever else game they want to give us, and they can use the same thing that they just did with it's just giving them a starting point with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and they can just technically port the games because they have the software and the hardware.
I like how you still have expectations after everything they've taken away from us and changed.
I can see them making more money off of Pokemon games. I can see that.
Pokemon.
No, like they will make more Pokemon games, just not in the way you expect it, and not in the way that it guarantees you'll get the most out of it.
And you still enjoy it every time. Isn't that crazy?
That's called an addiction, and everyone here, including myself, is in some level.
Well, at least I
addicted to
played the
Pokemon.
games that I have a gripe with.
Okay,
I mean,
hold on. I want to clarify.
I'll leave. Okay.
I just want to clarify before we continue. A remaster is taking an old game engine and all and just prettying up some textures or something, and just maybe re-recording some sounds. A remake.
Trust me, I get it.
Rebuilding
I get it's not the
ground up.
same engine. That is just a jab I was making because
Okay,
obviously
well,
it's not.
I am jabbing
but
you in the balls right now. I am.
Everybody wants to
Brandon.
make. Everybody wants to make the argument. Just like, what could you possibly have to hate about it? It looks exactly the same. It looks exactly the same.
Okay,
Like,
it does
bitch,
not look exactly the same. I will say that.
people keep saying that online, and
But
Caleb been saying that to me.
Okay, it
recently.
doesn't look exactly the same, but it is
Doesn't look
going.
exactly the
It is
same,
it
but
is
looks
imitating
the same.
the original vision, or not.
Not
the
only
vision,
does it not look
not the
exactly the
vision,
same,
but the
I would
original
not have
image.
wanted it to look exactly the same.
I like it. I like cute little overworld sprites. It reminds me of really old JRPGs, like back in the Super Nintendo days and NES days. I really like that, and I don't hate it.
I remember Pokemon on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, Pokemon on the Super Nintendo. No, I'm talking like Final Fantasy IV. Okay, this is another thing with Final Fantasy VII. It had a similar problem where, you know, the really weird like blocky polygon field models that were different from the battle models. You know all about that?
Yeah, it was like a transition into 3D. It was still a little like trying to figure itself out because they didn't know how much they could fit.
And I think something people don't realize is that with all the jumping and wacky animations that all these field models did, that no human being would do and make it look realistic in any way, was they were taking the original like sprites, like you know what an old Final Fantasy character looks like in Final Fantasy 4 or 6 or something. They're like these cute little chibi things, right? Well,
yeah, and I played Bravely Default, so I understand like how an overworld model can, you know, differ greatly from the in-battle model. I mean, Caleb's also played Bravely Default.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm getting at. I'm getting at that the Final Fantasy VII field model was made to evoke that old chibi like bullshit, and it was very primitive and polygonal and stuff, but that was what it was going for, with the awkward head scratches and jumping up like 20 feet and spinning around in circles like a wacky little sprite. That's what it was trying to go for.
I mean, they kind of grew out of it because, you know, they realized there wasn't that much of a... Because I just honestly feel like it wasn't as much of a stylistic choice as it was a limitation of the medium.
I think it was both. I think they realized that at some point, because during, I believe, the where Cloud and Jesse are looking at the layout of Midgar early in the game, I believe that Cloud and Jesse have bigger models that are hidden in the camera view. But I think what happened is they figured out, okay, we can't do this, so we're going to try to do this, and we're going to try to make it look close to the older Final Fantasy sprites so that it's still familiar and hopefully it doesn't look too bad. Because, like, if you, like, take Cloud or any of them and put them sideways where you still see one of the eyes, it's like, okay, yeah, that's like an old Final Fantasy sprite. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I still need to finish the Final Fantasy VII remake.
I
fell off of it a little bit.
You know who also needs to finish the Final Fantasy VII remake? Fucking Square Enix.
Yeah, they're not no hurry for that. I
Can you
don't know.
believe that they're making DLC with the fucking villain from Dirge of Cerberus in... I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the hell any of this shit is about. I don't want to buy it, but God knows I might just buy it. I don't know.
This was
I'm a
my
slave.
introduction
I'm a corporate
into
slave.
Final Fantasy VII. I guess Final Fantasy VII is its own like entity because I played Final Fantasy 1, I played Final Fantasy 6, and I started Final Fantasy 7 with the remake. Yeah, I can't tell you how many chapters I completed. Probably.
Fuck the remake.
How many
Just play
chapters
the
are there in
original.
total? No, how many chapters are there in total?
I don't know. I didn't finish it myself. I didn't finish part 1 yet.
I was looking at my achievement list. I was probably chapter 5. Chapter 5. I was definitely after a bike section.
I got to what I wanted to see, then I stopped playing because I was playing with a friend, and it was his first experience with Final Fantasy VII, and I was like we got to, what's it called, with the Don Corneo, Wall Market, and we really liked that part, except for one detail, which is to get the better dresses for the characters, you need to do all the boring padding side quests that are just killing monsters for hours on end. That is not fun. But yeah,
I kind of like the side quests a little bit. Just
So-
you don't have to do them. You don't have to do them.
you know how
Just
long?
looking,
Sorry, Caleb, go on.
just looking at something real quick while it's on my mind.
Yeah.
I don't like how their arms stick out in the video we saw. Brilliant Diamond and Shining.
Oh, how they're kind of awkwardly jutting out in
Mm-hmm.
the remakes. That is one thing. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's it. Just bothers me. I just looked at a picture and it bothers me.
It's not a major problem for me, but I do know what you're talking about offhand. But with Final Fantasy VII,
Is that gonna be a PS4 exclusive forever?
it might be.
No.
Is
No,
it gonna ever
no.
come to PC?
It might come
Maybe.
to PC once like the final part is out, and they like have it all as one big bundle.
Is it gonna be overly priced like Kingdom Hearts?
Oh fuck yeah, it is.
Yay!
Okay, I want to say that Midgar segment, that's all of that, like, I don't know, 40-hour part 1 of the remake, that takes like 5 to 7 hours to play through in the original game. It is like 10% of your time playing through Final Fantasy VII.
Like if you could just make padding the game, would you say it's the Final Fantasy VII remake part 1?
Yeah, I would say that. It is full of padding. It's got a lot of unnecessary enemy encounters. I do like some of the padding, honestly. I like the story padding. I like the Jessie part, where like you meet her family and stuff. I like that. But mostly, I don't know how I feel about the stupid motorcycle guy. He seems kind of fun, but I need to see more of him. I kind of like the Aerith orphanage deal, but I just need more of it to have a final opinion on it, I guess.
Yeah, you think Square Enix is scared of Final Fantasy 16 not doing very well? So, wait, 16 is the new one that's about to come out, right?
I haven't remember.
Yeah.
seeing
Do you think they're scared of how that's gonna do because it's so different? So they just need to keep selling us the nostalgia of the best-selling Final Fantasy game?
Why would Final Fantasy be or Square Enix be afraid to give us any
Because
when they know we're gonna buy whatever they sell?
I think they're
Final
afraid.
Fantasy 16 doesn't look like a traditional Final Fantasy game in any sense anymore.
And it's PlayStation 5 exclusive. I really hate when games are exclusive to console.
Well,
They're trying to get the Devil May Cry 5. They got the Devil May Cry 5 team working on it, right? The gameplay.
yes.
And it
Something
was
like that.
announced. So I actually haven't seen much about this, but it was really interesting. And speaking of Final Fantasy, how much of Final Fantasy have you played, Wesker?
I played a lot. I played Final Fantasy 1 and like maybe half of 2 on the PSP. I played through all of Final Fantasy 4 on the Game Boy Advance. I played through all of Final Fantasy 6 on the Game Boy Advance. I played through all of Final Fantasy 7 on the PS1. I played through all of Final Fantasy 8 on the PS1, all of Final Fantasy 9 on the PS1, all of Final Fantasy 10 remastered on Steam. I played a bit of Final Fantasy 12. I played through all of Final Fantasy 13 on Steam. That was a piece of shit. I don't recommend it. I played a 3-week trial of Final Fantasy 14 A Realm Reborn. I played through all of Final Fantasy 15.
Did you like the
Hey
round?
Wesker, I'm gonna need to ask you to zip up your trousers and put that monster away
No,
because you're just kind of rubbing it in all of our faces.
I gotta let it dangle.
Okay.
It's gotta have to slide along your cheeks.
So it's really, I like how you have a real extensive background of Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah, from my childhood.
Only reason I have any interest in Final Fantasy is because probably my favorite game of all time, Final Fantasy War of the Lines, was the Final Fantasy game that got me.
Tactics.
Yeah.
Like on the PS1.
Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lines. Yep, PS1.
I played that too. I wasn't counting.
But
I
I
wasn't
played
counting
it
spin-offs because I played a lot of spin-offs too.
I played it mainly on the PSP, but I just really enjoyed that. There are
cool.
ways to play that now,
Emulate it.
other than mobile, because of the mobile. I didn't like the mobile version. I know it's on PSP. PSP was actually really fun. I bought it just to play Tactics. I just liked the sprites were good. The art was good.
The art style's nice. Yeah, I like it.
Story's fun. And that led me to play that. This is the game. It's my favorite game, and it's the reason I like tactics games, like
Fire Emblem.
Yeah, I love Fire Emblem. No, but like A Tactics A2 is a good one. It's probably one of my favorite games on the DS. I don't think Brandon's played that. He owns it.
Familiar.
He used to play it.
Yeah, did you know I have games that I have not played yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
You definitely do.
It's true. Yeah.
So like Final Fantasy Tactics A2, it's just really fun. Like to me, there's a level of seriousness to it, but it's just a very the tactics games were just very fun.
It's very political, from what I recall. I didn't go too far, but yeah.
But like the character art was so cool. Like I don't know too much about Final Fantasy. I just know like certain things, like the Cactuar Tower. That's like a Japanese thing, I guess.
Cactuar,
But
yeah.
the Cactuar, the bombs. What are they called?
Bombs.
Yeah, they're literally just called bombs.
They're very
Like the
traditional.
enemies, yeah, like through Final Fantasy, and like the Marlboros and the Toms or whatever they're called.
You're talking about the the guys with the knives. I know what
Yeah.
these guys are called. God damn it.
Like all of these characters are in Tactics, and then you get like it's been so long, I don't remember their names.
Tonberries, that's what they're called. Tonberries.
Tonberries, that's what they are.
Those things are terrifying, by the way. I don't know if they're terrifying in Tactics, but
yeah, they're terrifying. I don't know why their defense is so sky high and you can't kill them so easily, but I just remember getting stabbed to death many times and it wasn't fun. So the different races in A2 at least.
Yeah.
Because in Tactics it was just kind of all human. It's like, oops, all human.
Oopsie.
There was 8 of them, and they were the was the human, the Manga, Numo, Moogle, Veer, Seek, Agria, and Rev Gaiji.
I'd recommend, if you wanted to get into the main series, starting with Final Fantasy IV for the 2D games, and starting with Final Fantasy VII for the 3D games.
Final Fantasy is on Steam.
I
played. I'm not saying I haven't played any mainstream. I have. It's just I haven't probably beaten
The
them.
only one I've heard you say you've played is 8.
I played 8. Yeah, I love 8 actually. Thank you for reminding me.
How much of 8
Had
did
that
you
really-
play through?
God, first disc way 25 years ago.
A lot of
I don't
people
know.
hate 8, but I really like it.
I like the card game.
Oh, fucking Triple Triad.
Yeah. I don't know why. It was fun, and my favorite Final Fantasy character is Leon. So,
Oh, you mean Squall.
well, yeah,
That's his
whatever
Kingdom
his
Hearts
name is.
name.
Yeah, I played Kingdom Hearts before I ever played a Final Fantasy game, so I just kind of accepted some things about the cameos.
Yeah, I knew it was Squall. Yeah, he's my favorite, and his gunblade is just the coolest thing.
It's awesome. It's so awesome that it's in the CGI cutscene, like opening like twice.
And I played the PSP. I've seen gameplay of Dirge of Cerberus. I played just a little bit. I've played what's the PSP Final Fantasy? I've beaten it.
Crisis Core.
Sephiroth. Yeah, Sephiroth. Dissidia. I love Dissidia. It's not
Dissidia
really
is an amazing game.
loved it.
Not the new one, but the old one, like in 012 Duodecim. Those are great.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts was another reason that like I love like the whole like I guess Japanese stuff in general, and just Final Fantasy just being Final Fantasy. Like I kept up with it. I haven't necessarily played everything. I played 13, first part.
13.
Yeah.
I hate 13. It's so bad. It's. So
I had very high expectations. Like that was on what was that on
it was on
Xbox
360 and PS3 originally.
So I remember just seeing the character, like you see Lightning, and she was very attractive, like just on the cover. I was just like, wow, this is cool.
Wow, pretty
Yeah.
lady. It must be a good game.
I wouldn't really say she's pretty. She just looked cool, like from like an anime type style, Final Fantasy looking thing.
Yeah.
Well, when I played
And-
Xenoblade, I was like,
Yeah.
oh wow, look at Pyra.
Yeah, now look where she's at,
Wow, look at those thighs. Whoa.
getting smashed by all the
Look at her
bros.
fucking hot, flaming titty chest.
Yeah.
It's what
Yeah,
her
but that was
crystal
very
is, and the
disappointing.
crystal is awesome.
That 13 was going to be my first venture into Final Fantasy, and it was so bad. And
I feel
they
bad
had,
for you.
yeah, they made a part 2. They're just like, hey, you weren't disappointed enough with part 1. Here's another one.
The
People
funny
called it.
thing about about 13.2 and also 13 Lightning Returns is I think that the gameplay is like the game design in general is extremely different on between all three of those games. So I'm actually willing to one day try out 13.2 and also Lightning Returns because I hear they're quite different. But I regret playing through few games, but Final Fantasy 13 is one of those games I regret for playing through all the way. That's like over 100 hours of my life I'm not getting back, wasted, thrown into the trash for nothing.
I haven't played any other. I played a little bit of 10. Not really that much.
10's
What is
good.
the Zodiac Age? What is this?
10's super linear though. It's kind of the origin of the 13 problem, but 10 handles it a lot better.
They have 7. They have
If you're looking at Steam, I wouldn't really recommend those ports. They do have built-in cheats, I think, but they also
Yeah, it's like a
are-
button command.
Hmm?
I was gonna say the cheat thing. It's like a button command or something in the menu. Hey, Spader,
Hold
Yeah.
on,
how
hold
about
on.
you?
It-
How about you play the Final Fantasy games on Switch?
oh yeah, I forgot they have them. on
Yeah, that's
Switch.
probably your best bet because the ones on Steam have DRM. So if you don't like DRM, avoid.
I got you.
You can even get these Final Fantasy Switch ports physically if you order from PlayAsia.
Really?
Yeah, they have 7 and 8 in one package, and then Final Fantasy 9 in its own package. And if you like Dragon Quest, you can get those first 3 ports all in the same cartridge.
I remember playing a lot of Final Fantasy games that just weren't Final Fantasy. Also, like Chocobos. Oh, I love Chocobos.
I think there's like a physical version of Final Fantasy 10 on Switch
Chocobos.
as well.
I
from-
got my
from
PlayStation
PlayAsia.
Vita from PlayAsia.
Yeah, I like PlayAsia. They're good. I mean,
Yeah.
they got pretty chunky shipping, and it takes a while. But I mean, that's overseas vendor.
Yep. I also got Dead or Alive Extreme 3 Fortune from them. The
I didn't know
volleyball
you
game.
played Dead or Alive.
No, it's the volleyball game, not the
I know the one that they only they could kind of put out
Yeah,
due to our lesser standards.
due to us hating sex but loving violence.
Crazy world, crazy world.
Real wacky. So you guys
But
want
can
to
we
wrap it
still?
up for the night, or you got anything else you guys want to talk about or say? Or
We spent so much time talking about Pokemon.
almost 2 hours just bullshitting about Pokemon. Yep.
Because Pokemon.
It's been 2 hours.
It's 25 years of Pokemon, man. What do you expect?
Well, golly geez. I hope. Look, I hope in the Diamond and Pearl remakes we get Pokemon that can follow you around, and also Pokemon you can spot in the overworld. I mean, that'd be interesting.
Any of that? Okay. So, what was the last Pokemon game you played?
Me?
Either one of you. What was the last one you played?
Moon today.
Yeah,
Sword.
and Brandon? Sword. Okay,
Sword.
before that, what was the last Pokemon game you played?
Let's go Eevee.
Okay, so that's 2 so far. What's the one before that?
I played Oris before Moon.
I believe
Wesker's closest because he's so far back.
We're not
But
counting
either-
fan games, right? Because I played like 10 minutes of Insurgents.
no, I'm talking about like mainstream games you played on the console that they were intended for, or,
All right.
Insurgents. Oh, I thought you said Emergence.
No,
That's a different.
not
That's
the,
a
not
different
the
story.
dungeon, I need to check out that fan game again, though.
You said Let's Go, so Sun and Moon would have been the one you played before previously.
Anyway, Ultra Moon, and then
So how long has it been since you played Black and White or Black and White 2? How many years?
they came out in 2010, right?
Mhm.
Somewhere around like 2009, 2010. I played them when they came out, and until X and Y came out. So
let's just say 2013.
last time I played it was probably 2012.
Okay, so 2012 would be 9 years ago since you played a Pokemon game like that.
Like
me.
what?
Quote
Like
unquote.
this. Points at screen. Fucking
Points at
Ninoids.
penis.
So, yeah, so you get to
Like
Black
show
and White.
graphic game.
Yeah, so it's not show graphics. It looks good.
Like
I
you
mean,
can
just-
pick up the trainer and put them in your mouth and chomp them. Yeah,
Like little squish.
like squishy babies.
So you're
Like-
saying I should be nostalgic for that
X and Y was
specific
literally-
quality of the video games in the past.
We're saying you
even
should
though
buy it and enjoy it, you
so-
corporate.
even though
knowledge.
Oris already had chibi models that didn't look too out of place with the fucking polygons.
They
It's
weren't squishy.
okay. You like Mario. You've been talking about how
I
you like
love
Mario.
him.
It is the same thing for the last 50 years.
Oh,
And you
by the
still
way,
play it every single
I played
time.
Bowser's Fury and I had a great time. It was like an open world Mario game. Everything's got that little bit of Breath of the Wild stank on it lately. Where you can just kind of go in the world and pick shit out.
Well, that's-
Cherry picking. You can cherry
only,
pick your adventure.
say that because Breath of the Wild was like the first big game like the Switch.
By Nintendo?
The first big game by Nintendo like that.
Yeah, let's let
Yeah.
me on Switch, yeah.
They were late
Like
to
the
the
engine
bandwagon.
that
And they're so pretentious about it. They're like, "Oh, we don't like to call this an open world game.
so
We like to call this an open air."
Kiss my
adventure."
fucking ass! Breath of the Wild was not only an open world game, but it also gave in to the crafting meme. Kiss my fucking
No.
ass, Nintendo.
Do you like how they called it an open air adventure? It's a genre quite not like open world.
No, I don't like it.
I'm just
You think-
looking at all the Mario games and
All the Mario games do a little bit. There is quite the stigma towards any of the Mario games with new in the title, like
yeah, you
New Super
play
Mario Brothers, New
Super
Super
Mario
Brothers
3D
Wii,
World
New
is
Super Mario
literally
Brothers
the
Wii
same
U.
as 64. Like Mario is like 10 times worse than Pokemon. They made Super Mario Brothers in '85, okay, and then they're like, you know what? What's better than that?
Spader,
The same game, but
Spader,
different.
So-
what the fuck are you even talking about right now?
It's
So
like Brandon loves it. Okay, Brandon loves. He claimed to love Pokemon, right?
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then he's like, I'm not playing Platinum.
I may not or
I'm
may not be a believer.
Yeah, he's
in-
like, I'm
in the
not playing
forums.
Diamond and Pearl because it's the same thing.
No, I
He
said I'm
literally
not playing
plays-
it because I literally have Diamond. I mean, not Diamond. I literally have Pearl and Platinum on the shelf, and
Hey.
I didn't see a single reason to quote upgrade.
If that's the case, then why did you upgrade for Super Mario 3D World when you could just play?
Because it's not the
4?
same
Hold on.
game.
Hold on.
Why is it
Brandon,
not the same game? It looks
Brandon.
different.
Because they added a new game into the
No.
same package,
Brandon,
and it was super fun.
Brandon, I gotta ask you, did you purchase
Yeah?
Super Mario 3D All Stars?
Huh? Yeah. Yeah, that game has 3 games on it.
Brandon, they're the
Yeah.
same games though.
It's literally the same game.
All right.
Like, they didn't even upgrade the graphics. They're just like, here, take the same game.
The fucking water graphics, like I think in Rico
So
Harbor,
bad.
were broken.
Hey,
In
for
that
$60, I got 3 games from over 10 years ago.
Yeah,
And now
it should've been like $30
Pokemon
or
is
40
gonna
at most.
sell me a game I paid $30 for that I still own 2 copies of, and they're gonna sell it to me for $60.
Brandon. Here's the problem.
The problem is,
Have you ever played Super Mario 64 3D? Super Mario 64 DS. Have you played that one?
I don't
DS
own it.
version.
I played a little bit of it. I thought it was okay.
They add a lot of new stuff that a lot of people generally agree is that it's their good additions, except for the fact that you kind of need to play as Yoshi at the beginning. But other than that,
Oh no. I know a lot about Super Mario 64 DS. I have it on the Virtual Console. I just remembered I don't have it physically.
why are
What?
we not getting that as a retrofitted 3D game for the Switch instead of the original? Why are we getting the original instead of the updated version?
Think the original is just far inferior and doesn't have anything to offer retrospectively? What if I told you that?
I'd say
Yeah,
yes. I think people are fucking blind with nostalgia for that game.
There's a popular complaint about 64 DS that it does not, because it released on the DS where there was only a D-pad. The game itself does not feature analog movement in any way. It's all digital, and it's all 8-directional movement. And they try to kind of
They
try to compensate with the touchpad by letting you touch on the little map on the bottom and letting Mario go in those directions.
Yeah.
You also couldn't really control the camera or anything without just doing the snap button. So, I mean, they'd have to rework some of it, but that's effort.
All right, so this is the one that is really going to trigger Brandon. Mega Man. Yeah, what's up with that?
What are you talking about?
You guys are
Brandon has played every Mega Man like 15 times.
You guys are mentioning, as far as buying Mega Man goes, iteratively go. I have bought bundles lately, and I thought, I still believe they're good values, where I get games that I like, reasonably priced, and, but it's not like with Pokemon, where I still have that game. And it's just the form factor. Well, here's a lot of the form factor thing. When you get a new port on the Switch, you're like, you can play this on the go.
Mm-hmm.
Am I playing Pokemon Pearl on the go for the very first time?
Yes.
Or am I playing the 1DS port without the second screen?
You don't need a second screen.
You
didn't need a second screen when you played Yellow. You didn't need a second screen when you played Gold and Silver and Ruby, and you didn't need a second screen.
Did you need a second screen when you played Sword and Shield?
No.
Were any of those games designed with that in mind?
It was there. It's not like the...
Brandon, you know what my second screen did in Diamond and Pearl?
Yeah.
You know.
So I've already mentioned one feature.
It had a
that
pedometer.
I will retain. Yeah.
And I looked at the pedometer, and my egg stat is shit, and I'm like, okay, I guess. And I kind of just ignored it. I kind of ignored it.
Bitch needs to hatch. That's how I felt.
Now, Brandon, I don't know if they show this in the trailer, but I don't know. I'm not saying they're gonna do this, but I think it would be workable for them to have either tucked away in a corner or something similar to that, where you could be able to see similar, preferably not like the whole without the backlight kind of look, but I think they could store similar information on the screen as you play the game.
They should have showed that off. because
I
I'm
agree.
only
We didn't see
judging
any-
initial impressions of bare bone features as to why I'm not excited. Obviously, I'm not excited that these features, just weren't shown at all.
I don't think it's a make or
There's
break
nothing
for
to
me.
there's nothing to speculate about. They're like, hey, get excited for waking up in the starting house. I'm like, okay.
I mean, they didn't.
You're wondering where my hype is.
No, you have hype.
And
There is
it's
some
that
hype.
there isn't very much information about these games, and what I've seen doesn't feel like news to me.
You know why it doesn't feel like news to you?
Yeah.
Because one, Game Freak is pretty predictable when it comes to releases, as we've seen. And two, because people have hyped up this remake to high heaven,
Mhm.
and now that it is slightly not what they want, they have a piss fit on Twitter.
Yeah.
and
I've
they lose their
never
minds.
been optimistic about these remakes because I was
Everyone
like,
in the world-
I have been telling Spader for years, if they remake these games, they better do something amazing to them because I just did not.
You know what?
I'm not the biggest fan of Gen 4, and if it's just the same thing again, I'm not gonna be excited about it.
That's fair. That's fair if you don't have any particular attachment. I mean, I don't. For some reason, I'm excited for it.
I think I want it less because I played it.
Because you miss that style of Pokemon and you're getting it on the Switch for the first time.
I saw
feel
the
like-
Underground,
I feel like
and it
I'm
felt
missing that style of Pokemon personally.
That's what I'm
they
saying.
could have done something creative with the Underground aesthetically instead of it being the same textures pasted around hallways. Again, and I'm probably gonna have trouble navigating again unless they, find a way to break some walls down. But that's just a little side feature in
You
the
know
game. It
what?
doesn't change
You know what I saw
Pokemon
that made me fucking
factor
laugh?
of it. Hmm.
I saw someone the day of look at this game and go like, I can't believe that Nintendo is making this game look like it's for babies and toddlers. And I just posted Wind Waker because I thought it was so hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But
Look
beyond
like for you know what I hate? I hate that stigma. They're like babies can't. They're not babies.
babies can't
not
enjoy their
fucking-
Resident Evil games.
babies can't enjoy
Dead or Alive 3.
quality and standards. Like if something is inherently shitty, it has to be for the child that you're prepared to abuse to death.
This is specifically about the art style. And I don't have any problem with the copy paste.
Nope, me neither.
I don't see why people want. I don't know what the big deal is about it really. Like to have just super handcrafted areas. I'm fine with grids. I like grids.
In my
Oh
opinion,
yeah, I did have a
it's the
complaint
most
where they're
pure
still doing
Pokemon.
copy paste trees in their little RPG Maker program. That's pretty cool.
I think the villages look very visually appealing.
I didn't see the foliage moving, and I think
Yeah,
I
he's
wanna
been
say-
complaining about that a lot.
yeah.
Because you look at
In
foliage
fucking
and you're
Foroma Town,
walking
it's like,
around.
oh, I remember playing Gen 4 as a kid, and I go to Foroma Town, I was like, man, imagine if this had like the graphics of like Pokemon Battle Revolution, and you could actually see like a beautiful like town filled with like flowers and shit. Like, what if it was like the anime or something?
And
it's
still,
just like
it's still not there. It's still not there. It's disappointing.
and when as far as like the
It's almost like they don't care. Almost.
the suspension of disbelief for like expectation with like what they could do with today's technology on old games and concepts, they kind of achieved that with me on Let's Go. It made me excited for things to come when when they're retroactively touching it up and really just letting their visions come to life. And now they're just like,
I don't think we're anywhere close to that Battle Revolution looking Pokemon extravaganza, like actual Pokemon game on a console. Like I don't think
I
we're
think-
anywhere near that.
I felt it when I was playing. Like, I even felt it for a little while when I was playing Sword and Shield. Like, it was pretty
It's safe to say that the thing about
pretty vast.
the thing that draws the older crowd to Pokemon for the majority is the VGC competitive part. And I don't see it being a far-fetched idea that we're gonna get something similar to Battle Revolution, where you use Pokemon Home or use whatever, or just whatever game you're playing and your Pokemon battle. Like, it's literally just a battle simulator.
Hey, Spader, I have a question. Did they get rid of triple battles and rotation battles
Yeah.
in Sword and Shield?
Yeah.
And they got rid of Mega Evolutions and
Yeah.
Xenoverse.
Yeah. They just give us giant Pokemon.
They just put on the inflation, baby.
So the only things I was really excited for when it came for Sword and Shield was seeing Pokemon in the wild and doing the raids. I didn't think I'd enjoy the raids, but after doing the raids, I did enjoy them. And the post game for Sword and Shield, have you finished the post game in Sword and Shield?
So I finished the first DLC and I started a new game. Currently playing through. I was playing through right before we start talking.
No.
I like
But
the
I haven't
design
played-
of the girl with the pink hair in the first DLC.
Yeah, I
I'm
haven't
not
played
talking about the DLC.
second
I'm
DLC.
talking about the post
Post
game
game, not really.
of the base game,
I went
where you
straight to DLC.
do the final rival battle, and
No.
you tie up the loose ends. And so you went straight to the DLC. You haven't finished the game.
Yeah. Yeah, well, no. Not only did I go straight to the DLC, I never finished the DLC, and then I started a new game.
That's some commitment.
Yeah, so I just beat the 4th gym leader, the 5th gym leader, or the 5th, whatever they're called in this game, and now, playing through, and then when I'm done, I'll do the post game, and then I'll do DLC 1 and 2.
Because I want to say the post game was pretty embarrassing. It was just like you had to go back and like, oh, the Pokemon, they're all Dynamaxing and Gigantamaxing. You got to work together with the gym leaders to stop it and fight the new villains. It's two blonde guys with really stupid haircuts, and then it finally kind of resolves at the very end where you fight Hop, and Hop tells you what he wants to do with his miserable failure life, what with his low self-esteem and whatnot.
That was a British accent.
I've never heard him talk.
I think he has.
Oh, you're talking about the way he talks in the dial. Yeah. And again, how it's written.
Side note, even though I don't like the current appearance of Pokemon Arceus Legends with the everything kind of looks like a PS2 Breath of the Wild to me, I do really like the artistic direction so far. I like that the beret for the boy is now like an old-timey Spitfire cap, and I like that the beanie for the girl is now an old-timey bonnet. I really like that. And I like the basket shoes.
You know what? I just realized
What?
you're right. Like, you've never been in the wild area in Sword and Shield, so you probably don't understand it completely when I say this. Comparatively, Pokemon Legends looks like it has some polish. Looks like it has some good ass graphics, because I've been conditioned to believe Sword and Shield is just like the cream of the crop, where because it's not making you like, what I'm saying isn't gonna hype you up for Sword and Shield, but graphically speaking, Pokemon Arceus Legends just looks better.
Oh, I'm
It
aware.
kind of reminds me of Genshin Impact a lot more than Breath of the Wild. Yeah.
People are saying that's kind of like when it was revealed, it had like a lot of bootleg Breath of the Wild
Yes.
Pretty much.
artistic stylings.
Yeah, it really felt that way. Where like it's like, this is not the original material.
I feel like some old school Zelda vibes more than Breath of the Wild. Like, just rewatching this trailer. Like, they definitely have some Let's Go kind of animated graphics going on.
I hope that it's not a bunch of flat, empty terrain with Pokemon randomly dotted around. I hope.
that would be the wild area for sure.
Oh.
And if the only thing we're going to be doing is catching Pokemon, I can honestly say I'm not excited for that.
Oh, don't be pessimistic, Wesker. The wild area was the best part about Sword and Shield,
Mm.
because the farther you go into it, like you might find Pokemon that are way stronger than you, or just way weaker than you.
So
It's
like
like
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
yes,
You're about to say that, I know. Yeah.
and you know what? I like Xenoblade.
I enjoyed that game too, even though I'm not a fan of auto attack games where it feels like I'm playing a single player MMO. That was an exception. I really liked that game.
Yeah, I would never play another auto attacking game that wasn't Xenoblade because I don't think I have the patience for those type of video games. I didn't think I had the patience for tactical games before playing Fire Emblem Awakening, and it's it's so endearing to me now, where I want to play more tactical RPGs.
Let's see you finish Awakening first, buddy.
What are you talking about? I finished Awakening a long time
What,
ago.
you finished that? You finished your playthrough?
Yeah, I was taught. I
I
told
thought
you about
Gear
it.
Robot was just yelling at you for not finishing it.
No,
No?
I finished it a long time ago. I was even talking about the ending, all the characters I let live, and all the ones I recruited, all the kids I got,
Oh.
and all my builds. Like fuck, like I had like Donald and
Oh, Awakening, yeah, Awakening was so
what?
good. My God, Awakening was
I
like one
forgot
of
the
the
name
best.
of the beast girl. What's the beast? The what are the beasts called? Did it
Console
start?
or some shit.
Anyway, their kid was just a really good unit because it had the best traits of Donald's villager uh bonuses for leveling up, and
Yeah,
then
it's probably the most
Tagwell,
broken
yeah,
Tagwell or whatever.
Tagwell,
Tagwell, yeah.
yeah.
Fire Emblem Awakening was also my first Fire Emblem game, and I really enjoyed it. But
Have you played Three Houses?
no, it's my only one so far. But I had a horrible experience with it, where I'm pretty sure I might have gotten a little bit of PTSD from some of those battles I retried because I was bad at the game. But I did get my Donald super fed at the end, and
Yeah, he was the hardest, but once he got going, boy, was he good.
he was a fucking train. I tell you what.
You know, I would. Is there what Switch games are out there that you guys haven't played but want to play?
Astral Chain.
My brother's playing through that right now.
I,
Ash Chains looks pretty cool.
I call it Ass Chan.
Yeah, I call it Ash Chains.
Chain ass. Um,
What anything else?
Are you talking about Switch exclusive games?
yeah.
Preferably.
I can't really. Maybe Luigi's Mansion 3? I don't know.
Oh, I haven't played it either. I want to play through a game. I don't care what it is. I don't even care if I haven't played through it. I just want to play through a game. So,
On the Switch specifically?
preferably. It can be anything.
We'll play like Final Fantasy 9 or something.
I would play Mario Sunshine on the collection because it's in widescreen.
What about Monster
I
Hunter
do.
Rise? You guys interested in that?
No.
I think my thoughts on Monster Hunter.
Have
are
you
pretty
played
clear where-
Hades?
I haven't played Hades.
I haven't played Hades. I'm not a big fan of roguelikes.
Oh my God! But this will change your mind.
Will it? I don't know.
I can honestly say I was not a big fan of roguelikes either until this game.
Maybe I'll try it out one day. People won't shut the fuck up about it. Maybe it's a really great game. I don't know.
It is a great game. You'll love it. You'll be like, wow, I can't believe I waited this long to play it, but it's so good.
Wow, finally,
I
a
ordered
Reign of
the-
Ragnarok game.
I ordered the physical version on
Yeah, see,
online
Brandon knows it too.
since they just announced it.
I wouldn't mind playing through Three Houses at the same time that you guys do.
I don't
Whatever
know. I don't know when I'll play a Fire Emblem game for the next time because I'm still kind of cooling off on the last one. If anything, I think the next tactical game I'm gonna play is Shin Megami Tensei Digital. No, fuck. Devil Survivor 2 Record Breaker there on the 3DS.
That was a mouthful.
Yeah, it was a mouthful.
I haven't played any Shin Mags.
You haven't played any shitty Megami Tenseis?
No sir. I haven't played any Atlas games since Draglade on
We're talking
Nintendo
about record.
DS.
You said Record Breaker.
Yeah, it's Devil Survivor 2 Record Breaker is.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's about a stuck. There's no gameplay.
It's a tactical game, but it's got a bit of traditional Shin Megami Tensei. Or
I'm not a big
Megami-
fan of the traditional, like, way they fight enemies. You know what I
Face
mean?
The enemy.
Yeah, I'm
Face
not a
them
big
down.
fan of that.
I'm kind of into it. It's very what's the word?
Part of the reason I haven't played
Classic.
the Digimon games, whatever they are.
I believe that the artist who did the work on this game, is the same one that did Cyber Sleuth's art.
Yeah, definitely is. Dawn and Dusk, you know what I'm talking about? Dawn and Dusk.
I'm
Digimon.
not familiar now.
Talking about the DS
Yeah.
games.
I mean, it was hype when I first saw it a long time ago, and I just recently watched someone do like a quote-unquote Nuzlocke for that style, and it was just not appealing at all.
They're trying too hard to lean into Pokemon, it sounds.
It was just like a way of making the game harder.
Well, and they also have like 2 versions of the same game.
Dusk
Yeah,
and
that's what
Dawn.
I mean.
Yeah.
And like the fact that someone can Nuzlocke it, you know.
I don't know how I just watched him do it. Which, by the way, if neither one of you have played Cyber Sleuth, and I don't know what your background is with Digimon, but Cyber Sleuth is an excellent game.
I've watched.
I want to get
original...
into.
Go on, Brandon.
I was gonna say I want to get into the anime because I watched it as a kid. And I think you were gonna say that.
Yeah, I watched a bit of the original anime, and I played a bit of Digimon World 4 on the GameCube, but that's really it.
Oh my god! I also played Digimon World 4.
Yeah, Brandon rented a bunch of Digimon games.
It's hard.
It was confusing.
Yeah, it sure was.
I did really like the monster design though.
You'd hit the same guy like 20 times and just pray that you get up to like level 3 or something, so you can get past the first world.
God, you remember more than I do. I just remember like the cybernetic hub world. I remember getting a sword for some reason. I don't remember Digimon ever having a sword in the anime.
Yeah, it was Gauntlet. I was wondering, like, oh man,
was
these swords are
Gauntlet.
cool. Can I like combine them or evolve them, or what am I doing? Why am I going around this cool hub world talking to the same versions of myself?
Surreal. Other Switch games I'm interested in. I probably would like to check out that 3D World port for Bowser's Fury, and also the added movement options they have to the game. I probably will play Fire Emblem Three Houses one day. I don't know if I want to play a game like Echoes first, or maybe go back to the Game Boy Advance games or anything. I don't know.
There's a lot of Fire Emblem games that I want to play because I played half of the first one on Switch, the Switch I guess port. A lot of complaints I guess, but since it is a port, it's pretty good for what it was. And I played Awakening, and really Awakening was the only anything I had into Fire Emblem.
Oh, by the way,
really great.
I ordered Bravely Default 2. I wasn't able to pick it up at the local stores the other day because shipments were late because of that whole snow thing. So I'm looking forward to playing Bravely Default 2 and just jumping in when I get it.
Are you gonna play it like soon? I don't want to buy it soon. Like I'm in a Pokemon mood. Honestly, I've been playing Pokemon. Last Friday, it was great. Last Friday was so emotional.
My
Pokemon,
package shipped,
WandaVision,
so it should be here on Friday.
So, another thing, anime. I don't think either one of you have really seen, but Jujutsu Kaisen. Both need to watch that. You need to catch up.
Okay.
It's only 20 episodes, and it's probably, I don't know, it's the best thing since sliced bread.
I'm gonna look into watching some of it this week, I guess, so we can discuss that next time. Right now, I have just read the first chapter of Chainsaw Man. Hasn't really fully.
How was that, by the way? It's kind of something I've been eyeing.
Yeah, I hear a lot of great things. First chapter isn't super amazing. Like it's up my alley for sure, and like it's definitely appealing to me. But beyond that, like it hasn't gripped me. I think what's its name? The little chainsaw dog. Starts with a P. I think that's adorable. If I like the series, I may get a plushie of that thing. It's really cute. But I'm looking forward to it. The art's pretty good. There was one panel I especially liked where the action is sort of split on... It's like a double page spread. and the action is like he's like tearing through a demon, and it's like a splash and like a sort of like a visual effect, and you see the demon's like destroyed face above like as a reaction. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just really good looking. But yeah, I can't recommend it yet. I need to read more of it. But so far, pretty alright.
Seen a lot about it though. Like, I keep up with monthly Dragon Ball Super and Boruto, and anytime I get on Shonen Jump, it's always like front page. Like, look at this.
It is pretty big. I think it was really popular in Shonen Jump. Like,
Yeah, it's always on the app every time I open the app. It's weird.
Mm-hmm. You been reading or watching anything, Brandon? You want to talk about that one show?
Nope.
He's been like weirdly obsessed with Devilman Crybaby lately.
He's been really.
I have been very obsessed with Devilman.
Devil May Cry.
Not even Crybaby.
You
Just
even called
Devilman
it Devil May Cry Baby. God damn it. That's a joke.
So I've been really into Devilman after watching Crybaby and looking more into the OVAs. We watched the OVAs. Me and Wesker did. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna order the original manga
From the 80s.
and try and understand the source material as best I can because I'm really into the classic stuff right now.
Some of those Devilman pages are fucking hilarious, by the way.
I love the expressions and I love the goofy
out of
thug
nowhere
characters.
explosions of character.
I gotta see more about the one where they're time traveling. That's in the manga. Apparently, that was written by Go Nagai's brother, who was also a manga artist.
Let's not forget the Hitler origin story.
The Hitler origin story, where the demon-possessed man that took his beloved away from him just so happened to be a Jewish man, and then he just is straight up like, I'm going to wipe out your entire kind, because he couldn't make the association that maybe it wasn't just all Jewish people, maybe it was just so happened to be like a demon possessing a Jewish man.
It's fucking absurd. Yeah. I might check it out someday, because the sex and the violence, pretty fun. I can't lie.
I've been watching ReZero. The second season kicked back up because half of the second season was done last year, and they're back to it coming out every week. I kind of like where ReZero is right now.
I need to catch up. I've been watching a little bit. Episode, like, just a few.
Picturing it.
That'd be fun if we were all caught up and talking about it, because
I'm like I said, Jujutsu Kaisen. Quit shit on my cord. Jujutsu Kaisen is the one that I'm watching like currently, like every Friday. I just went through a pretty big anime spell where I watched I watched both seasons of Fire Force. It was so good. I watched all of The Promised Neverland in one day because it was just that good.
Yeah.
I caught a few episodes of One Piece like a week ago.
So you watched the second season of Promised Neverland?
I have not caught up on the second season. I just watched the episodes that were on Netflix. I'm like on episode like 65 of One Piece. Like that was just a stopping point for me to get to.
You're at 65?
Are you both just at the same spot?
I was about to say, like, in about 10 days back in January, I started my adventure in One Piece, and I watched the anime, and I watched the first 61 episodes, so I'm out of
That's exactly... I'm probably on episode 62, honestly. Like, they just got done with the dragon.
Oh, okay, so you're still doing the filler?
Yeah. So I started this actually last year. I started watching One Piece.
Yeah.
Because I do intend on catching up to where it is currently one day. I just don't feel like doing it all at once, and I knocked out.
Yeah, I left off on Thriller Bark.
I'll be there one day. I'm literally on episode 60, like 62 or 63. Like, literally just finished the filler. It was kind of long, drawn out few months for me of that because I just couldn't sit there and watch it all.
Yeah, I thought the final scene was pretty emotional, but
It
What
was good.
what filler?
the fucking Eternal Dragon.
The Eternal Dragon stuff.
I find it hilarious that Caleb is somehow about the same point in this 1,000 episode series as I am, just out of nowhere, and also he decided to watch the filler for some reason as well, even though
Because I gotta watch it all. That's the only reason I'm watching it.
that's
I think I
exactly
went
the
on
same
record.
reason I'm doing it, because I have something to prove.
I think I
Yeah.
hold on, what was I gonna say? I think I said at one point
Yeah.
that what I hate most of all is One Piece filler and Fairy Tail filler because it's awful. It's so awful because it goes on for like a whole season. It's not just like a
but with
one-offs.
One Piece, the actual battles kind of feel like filler at times. So
Right. See, my thing
There was,
is
like-
One Piece. I could easily just read. Get your ass down! What are you doing? I could easily just read the manga and catch up. Like I could do that in like 3 days, 3 or 4 days.
but where's the fun in that, right?
Where is the
Hey,
fun
hey,
in that?
Exactly.
Hey Wesker,
exactly.
if you ever get to the Davy back fight, that's like a whole season. You don't have to sit through that. It's like a filler season.
You saying don't do it.
It doesn't matter. It
Don't
doesn't
lose a
matter.
friend?
Yeah, he's literally gonna do it just because you told him not to.
Yeah, you know that I don't give up, right? You know that I'm
I-
the man who got all achievements in the Devil May Cry HD collection, including Devil May Cry 2. I played through that shitty game like 5 or 7 times, including on Dante Must Die mode. So
Luffy plays a game with another ship, and it's like the Special Olympics, but you bet your entire crew. And he's such an asshole. Why would you do that?
Because he's Luffy and
Why
he's
would you
ignorant.
bet your? Why would you get into human trafficking like that?
There's
Just
one
add a
reason.
character out of nowhere.
he's confident.
It's confident.
He's unlimited confidence.
And
Yeah.
the guy he's facing is a ship filled with people that he's won from other Davy back fights.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, it's the Code of Pirates. Not only do you gotta agree to it, but it's great." And Luffy's like, "This is great." And everybody in the crew is just like, "Is he really just kind of betting
I
us?
don't know. It's just
Are
One
we
Piece,
disposable?"
and I think
I thought we were
anybody that
marketable
watches One
characters.
Piece can agree that it's 1,000 episodes or 1,000 chapters in whatever it is. It's just fun. There's no point, but it's just fun.
It's really nice.
the-
The ocean is always a refreshing setting for me. Like
All I'm saying is the filler has very out of character moments for Luffy.
I hear that it messes with the feats or something. Characters. Like, people are able to do stuff that they're not supposed to be able to do. Or something.
Not even that. Like, I think they get like Luffy has Tourette's in the filler or something. He just kind of he goes off unhinged.
Well, he understands dragon talk in the
Yeah.
filler we already watched. So
Oh,
Yeah, that
see
happened.
that.
oh.
She's like, "Wait, you can understand him too?" He's like, "What do you mean?" Oh god.
What are you, stupid?
It's fucking weird.
He's just like Luffy just berates this person for his insane ramblings.
But the whole point was like she was the only one that could talk to him the whole
she has a
time.
fruit that specifically lets her talk to stuff. And
Yeah.
Luffy can just do it because he's stupid enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. This is about the little girl. I think I have
Yeah,
seen this. I
with the-
just
with
forgot
the
about
funny
it.
hat.
It was literally like the
yeah,
whole
with the cone,
like
the cone head.
She has a
yeah
little
by like 7 episodes or so. Like it's filler into more filler because I'm pretty sure the Sanji cooking stuff happened right before this, and
Was
then this
that
kind of
filler?
just like
that one episode? Because that's
That
the
had to have been
introduction
filler.
to. I'm
no.
pretty
no.
sure that's the introduction to the.
The introduction to Sanji was when he kicked Don Krieg's buddy's ass, and
No,
Don
no.
Krieg beat him, and
No, you're talking about the cook-off with that lady, right?
yes, I don't think that was really anything.
I think I think that's the episode that in the anime introduces the fact that the ocean, the what is it called? The Grand Line has the dead
Yeah.
water. Okay, it's either that. I can't remember what it's called, but you know the dead water between.
I read a lot of the manga, and I don't recall that happening in the manga.
Okay, I don't know.
So I don't know. I think it
The
was
dead
just.
water.
Okay,
I
so
think it was just
outside
in
the
the
Grand
anime.
Line, there's no weather, there's no life, etc., etc. Like you can't get a wind like right off the edge of the Grand Line.
Yeah, that's what they said, or whatever just happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
so
look. There's one thing
yeah.
I know about One Piece from what I've read because I've read all the way up until no spoilers, but like chapter probably 500 plus. I've read half of the damn what's
Got it.
happened. So,
You're into it.
like, yeah. I mean, I was the character. Like the moment I saw Zoro on Four
Oh,
Kids
Yep, Zoro.
chained up.
Zolo.
And then like Luffy's like, "Hey, let me help you out," and he's like, "Don't help me." I was just like, "Yeah, I like this guy."
Hey,
And
Zoro
then
is not sexist, and he's also really cool.
I like how his best friend fell down the stairs and died.
Totally
that's
fell
what they
downstairs.
that's what they tell you, but I'm pretty sure with everything I've seen going on now, we're gonna get some Zoro stuff soon.
I've heard
But I don't,
people talk
I don't know.
back, and I've heard multiple things about that, and like people are like telling me nah, and other people are saying yeah, she totally like commits suicide, dude. And I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm just gonna keep watching right now.
Also, I've
No,
heard
there's nothing else
rumors.
about that character. As a matter of fact, they're like, "Oh, what if Tashigi is Kuina?" And they're like, "No,"
Yeah.
because there's a moment where the manga author draws Tashigi as a kid, and she's just a completely different individual.
Yeah. So, your experience with One Piece is it only what you've watched?
Yeah, I've not read any, and this year I'm going in fresh.
Oh, so you just started this year?
Yeah, 20 years
Three-
in the waiting.
Yeah,
Popping
3 months
your
in.
One Piece
6
cherry.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Like, One Piece for me, was something that was cool when it was on 4Kids, just because it was on 4Kids.
Yeah.
I watched it, but when I was in middle school, is when I really got into Bleach, and I've read that thing like 5 times. Read all of Bleach so many times. It's so good.
I love Bleach. I love
Bleach.
swords. I love the character designs. It's amazing.
Everything about Bleach, I've just read it so many times, and I can always just go back and read it. I need to collect the manga, honestly. But Naruto, same thing. I've read it so many times. One Piece was just the one that I would just like look at and be like, "What the hell's going on?" Because of how cartoonish it was.
I was like, wow, that looks like a lot of fun, but then I'm like, oh my god, it's so long. Like, I'm never gonna do it.
And then you look at Bleach, and it's so serious, and they're so bloody, and shit's happening all the time, and you're like, "Yeah." And then you just look at One Piece like, "Wait, what's happening?" Yeah, that's exactly what happened because I remember in middle school every Friday I would read the new chapter of the mangas that I were in
Yeah.
because they were weekly releases back then. Like Naruto came out every week, every like Thursday and Friday was something coming out. But I never really kept up with One Piece. But I did read, like I would just go through and just read a bunch of it.
And it just be
But
kind of confusing because it's so different from those other series that are trying to attempt a more consistent tone.
well, yeah, they're just a lot more serious, and like One Piece isn't
It has a
always
lot more fun
serious.
at times.
Yeah, because you can definitely tell it's literally about an adventure, and that's all it's about. Like that's it. There's an adventure and there's devil fruits, and that's all that you care about.
Yeah. Other
Like
than
you watch 60 episodes,
yeah.
and it's literally gonna be that for 1,000 more episodes. But it's just fun. Like there's no
You're along for the ride.
yeah.
It's just
Hey.
pleasant.
What do you mean it's gonna be like that for 1,000 more? They're gonna actually add some characters.
Yeah,
It's
but
gonna
it's
be
the same
cool.
stuff happens, and it's the same thing.
Eventually, there will be a power system called hockey, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah, see, so you do know. Yeah.
I know small bits and pieces, not much.
I just know that the only reason I'm not current with the manga is because at one point in time, over the time of like the course of probably 2.5 years, I was like, I would read so much. I would read like hundreds of chapters, and then I would forget, and I would read those same 100. I'm like, oh, this seems like a good starting point.
Were you
And
just
I've
skimming
watched.
through them? Were you not even?
No, I would read them, but then I got to a point where like I feel like I remember this, and I would just quit. And to reference what I'm talking about, some stuff happens later on, and I just thought that was such a good starting point. So over the course of like 2.5 years, I would start there and read on, and then I would start there again without realizing it, and I would skip ahead. But every time I was just like rereading what I've already done, and I just could never find like where I was. And then I got to one point to where I'm like finally ahead. I was probably like in chapter like 575 is probably a good area. And it was just so much dialogue that I'm like, no, I'm done with this.
Luckily,
So
I'm current with Hunter x Hunter, the manga, so I am ready for any level of dialogue. I am ready for it to just be a fucking book, and I can handle it.
yeah, but it wasn't. I'm sure there was meaning to what your dialogue was. There wasn't any meaning to the One Piece stuff happening.
Oh, it's just quippy.
It was just nonsense, like ship talk over and over and over, and then like not even that. Like One Piece, my least favorite thing they do is they introduce these characters in every arc, like they just did with what we just watched, like the little girl and the dragon, and they're there for the ride, and then they're just eventually done with them. And I'm just
Look,
like, wow, I've
that's
just got so
how filler
invested.
works.
I got
Yeah.
so no, but like these half of these characters in One Piece aren't filler because it's so long. I'm
Yeah,
just like,
but they actually look. I'll even tell you right now, they bring back the Davy back fight guy for
yeah, because
more filler.
it's fun. It's literally not. It's not something to be. I wouldn't say taken seriously because a lot of the stuff that happens is very serious.
Listen. I just
It just has
I don't.
it has such a light tone.
There are times where I
Whimsical.
enjoy. There are times where I enjoy filler from various animes. You know, I'll enjoy some Bleach filler. I'll even be like, okay, I'll watch a little bit of Naruto filler, whatever. It fills in the gaps with some fan service of characters that were already introduced and the lore of the world and how it's kind of being like, oh, this is where so and so is from, and this is how so and so went, and there's this new type of fucking species or something, or a new kind of way to use chakra that maybe the source material didn't go over all that well. I don't like the way personalities are portrayed in fillers for One Piece or fucking Fairy Tail because it's just boiled down to tropes and it's very predictable.
Hmm.
Isn't that kind of Fairy Tail's MO though? Kind of predictable. Like it's just kind of like every season is just like a new villain that gets beaten down.
Fairy Tail's one of my favorite manga.
Yeah, I'm not a
Uh,
huge fan, but I'll check
Why
it out.
not? Why not?
Wesker's watched a season and he was over it.
Never seen the anime. I just really enjoy.
Well, yes, you
Manga.
have.
No, I have not watched a lot of the anime. That's a lie.
You said, I mean, you've definitely seen like up to like where Laxus is
Nope.
the antagonist of the arc.
I've read it all. I've only read it. I didn't waste my time watching it. I've
You
always
didn't
had.
waste your time watching it.
Yeah,
You don't know.
yeah. I've always had this mentality, like I could just read it and save so much time and do something else.
All right, so
Ugh.
I want to say that I'm gonna continue watching One Piece for myself and everyone. I'm gonna start on Jujutsu Kaisen. For
God,
Caleb,
Brandon, if you don't watch that anime,
They're gonna
you're
rip
doing
my
yourself
nuts
a
off.
disservice. You're doing yourself
was like,
such.
did Brandon?
I've actually went through a really big. Where's my phone? Anime. Just anime in general. I have a list. I was gonna do like this, like quote unquote
My
challenge.
list or anything, or
Yeah, I started it, but I don't know what it is right now.
okay, I can
So I did
friend
this
you on that.
challenge that I kind of just came up with, and it was like A through Z, and it was to find a new anime and just add it to that list. And I've done like 5 this year. I started Digimon, which I added that to the list. The Adventure Try, not the new one going on. Cannon Busters is a Netflix original. Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm keeping up with it currently. Mob Psycho 102, I finished it, and Fire Force. I finished it.
You finished?
Mob Psycho.
Yeah,
Mob
he was
Psycho.
complaining after he finished Mob Psycho season 2.
Right?
He was complaining because he watched the OVA right after season 2 because it was in the episode order. He didn't understand what he was just watching.
I was so upset. Have you watched it?
I don't think
Wesker?
I've seen the OVA, but I love the first 2 seasons.
So okay, so just
It's
imagine
just a Hot Springs episode that doesn't really have any bearing on the
Yeah,
plot.
imagine what happened at the very last episode of season 2, and then
The climax of the series, yeah.
yeah, literally this whole series, and then it ends, and then my I use VRV just starts playing the next episode, and it has the guy from the end of the Umbrella guy. I can't remember his name.
The
He
new
used it.
Aizawa.
Yeah, him. It has him, and they're going to an oasis or whatever the hell they're going to, and literally they get stuck in some world, and then Mob is there, and from what I watched, he was like powerless or whatever, and I'm just
Well,
like,
he was
what
doing.
the
They're doing like a
hell?
villain of the week kind of thing, where they're like, "Oh, we're on vacation, but it's also our exorcism. I'm gonna let loose and chill back, bro."
It was just
Everybody's
so,
Sonic when I'm trying to fucking paraphrase.
Mob Psycho
know.
is super amazing. If I find out people around me have not seen that, I gotta show it to them because it's just that good.
It was something that the first season was hard for me to completely get involved in until I got involved.
Because you weren't sure if it was ever going to take itself seriously.
And I wasn't sure because it was about a middle school kid, and it's satire. It was just odd.
Like when what's the blonde kid's name?
Is there any way to
I
watch
almost
Fairy?
called it Reagan, but it's like Aragaki or something.
Teru.
Teru.
When Teru got introduced, that's when I finally felt like this series was going to be like a nice introspective look into this character, and he's not just going to be the same, and there's going to be more people for him to kind of influence him.
Was he the one that had the
And it's gonna
stupid ass
have-
big hair in
Yeah, he has
season
the
1?
wig.
Yeah.
He was so cool in season 2.
Yeah, I love him there. It's like he's like one of my favorite supporting characters in an anime besides Roy Mustang. Like Teru kind of did that for me.
Reagan's
As a
my
support
favorite.
character.
I love Reagan.
Reagan's great. Reagan, I would call him like the secondary main protagonist, not so much a side character, because there's just too much. He fills in
He is
so
the
much
vehicle.
time.
He's the vehicle.
Yeah,
The medium.
absolutely.
No pun intended.
He is-
He's the medium.
He is the adult supervision that carries Mob throughout the plot.
Mm-hmm. Parental guardian. Ass.
And people can say whatever they want about him, and they're probably right.
He is a scumbag, but he's also super cool.
They do this thing with like main protagonists having a supporting character. He's not the strong one in the group, and he kind of messes up a lot. But Reagan, at the very least, he doesn't hold anyone back.
Dude, the fucking moment where like the blind guy like meets Mob and then Reagan just fucking decks him had me laughing out loud. I fucking lost it. That was the funniest thing I'd seen in years.
It's just that was written so perfectly.
It was so great. But beyond that, One Piece, Jujutsu Kaisen, I am gonna read Chainsaw Man in summary. Other than that, I've been watching Bungo Stray Dogs 1 with friends.
Did you like that? Are you enjoying that?
Bungo Stray Dogs 1? Yeah, I am. It's probably not for you guys. It's like a spin-off, like a cutesy spin-off made by Studio Bones of Bungo Stray Dogs. And it makes me smile, and it's just very nice and pleasant. Other than that, I'm reading something a bit more serious, which is Record of Ragnarok, or Shumatsu no Valkyrie. That is a tournament battle manga, which is gods versus humanity in a final bid to decide if humanity will be wiped off the face of the earth or not. Where the greatest figures of humanity, for example, like the biblical Adam. There's also Jack the Ripper.
Sounds like a Modge Podge of just different characters throughout the history.
Nikola Tesla versus gods
What?
such as Zeus. Yeah, Nikola Tesla's gonna
You
be
didn't
there.
tell me Nikola Tesla was in there with his fucking Tesla coil lighting up shit in front of the gods.
We haven't seen him yet, but he's gonna be there. Yeah. But
Next, you're gonna tell me Kratos is there.
Yeah, they got Hercules from Aladdin. It's cool.
Ares! And Ares is like, what?
And the only other thing I really have on my plate regarding anime and manga is I was gonna watch ReZero for Brandon, I guess.
How much of that have you watched?
Huh?
How much of that have you seen?
I've seen the original season, I guess, where
I'm only on like episode 5.
I honestly don't want to watch it, but I might as well give it another chance and see if I enjoy it or not, and have something to talk about here. But the only other thing I am reading is technically Berserk and Hunter x Hunter, but those are, who the fuck knows when I'll get new chapters for that, and JoJolion, which is on a very prominent fight, hopefully ending next chapter. We'll see. JoJo Part 8.
I do know that both of you need to read American comics. Something American.
I'm a weeaboo.
Yeah, I know. You gotta enjoy everything.
I should read Spider-Man Noir. That sounds fun.
I don't know if that was that great. I don't know.
It's very, very tragic.
I've read some of it. It's alright. It's not really. You should read. You can read anything Spider-Man. I suggest old Spider-Man when I think it's Gwen Stacy dies. What chapter is that? Like it was I'm real big into like just comics in general. Just that's the way I was, I guess, raised.
Yeah.
And I guess it's 121 and 122 Amazing Spider-Man. It's just 2 issues. So I didn't really have a lot of back knowledge of these characters. I just knew a lot about characters growing up, because growing up I had a lot of good stuff. Like I had Batman the animated series, I had Superman the animated series, I had Justice League Unlimited, I had X-Men Evolution, I had the old X-Men cartoons that would come on, the old Spider-Man cartoons, and then we got the Batman, we got the Legion of Superheroes, I can't remember what it was called. We got so much stuff. This was all before the Marvel Cinematic Universe era of stuff that was really pointing towards kids, and that's kind of what I grew up on. So I knew a lot about this without knowing about it, just growing up on it. And my dad was kind of real big into it. So I got into it, and it was really cool.
Yeah, I kind of liked Batman Beyond when I was younger. I don't remember watching much of it though, but I spent a lot of time watching and talking about Teen Titans with friends.
Oh yeah, Teen Titans too is probably one of the biggest ones. You got Young Justice.
And ironically, because as I'm a weeaboo now, I think that Teen Titans got me a bit more into Japanese shit.
Yeah, the movie, the very Japanese-like movie. So speaking of Batman Beyond, I was at Books A Million this weekend, and they do bargain sales now. I guess people like selling used books.
Yeah.
And they had the first 3, and I guess all 3, collected editions of back when DC Comics did their New 52 reboot, which was they took 52. I guess they just had too much going on, and they took 52 of their comic lines going on, and that's what they revamped. It was in 2011, and it's 52 new series, and they kind of fixed the whole issue of the origins of everything, and like how different people had different shit going on, and they kind of just touched up on it. They made it easier for new people to get into. And at Books A Million, I found all three of them were on sale. The Futures in like they're all there's three trade paperbacks, and it has Batman Beyond in it, and I have absolutely no idea what it's about, so I'm kind of excited to read it. I think the main character is Batman Beyond, and this took place in 2014, 2015. It was like a year-long series they did, and all three books that I have collects issues 0 through 48. And it's literally about Batman Beyond trying to save the future he's in. So he goes back in time like 5 years, and it's too late. So he's got to like rethink what the hell's going on so he can save everything.
I barely read in American comics. I pretty much never. But the one I own a single one, and the art is nice. I can't say I particularly love it. It is extremely, as the kids might say, edgy. But the one I own is Batman Arkham Asylum: A Serious House on Serious Earth by Grant Morrison and Dave McKean.
Yeah, Grant Morrison's awesome.
Yeah, it's very painterly, and it's very it gets borderline abstract. It very gritty. I like it though. Dark and brooding.
I actually knowing your taste in anime and just games and things in general, suggest checking out like third-party comic. When I say third-party, I don't really know what to refer to them as. Like you have DC and you have Marvel.
Dark Horse.
Then you have Dark Horse. You have Valiant Comics, and you have other people. And there's independence is the word I'm looking for. A lot of independence you'd be real interested in.
Probably, yeah. My thing is like I don't like full on like superhero getup, but I also don't like some dude either, you know?
Right. So, what about Spawn? Have you ever gotten into it?
I've not gotten into Spawn, but I do know that there's an entity called Toxin. Wait, Spawn. Wait, hold on. No, I'm thinking of fucking Spider-Man. I was thinking of. Oh God. I know Spawn mostly actually from Soul Calibur 2 in his Xbox inclusion, but isn't he like a god of war or something? What's up with that?
I know absolutely next to nothing about him.
Okay.
I just know that I want to read him. I just haven't.
I believe it's very violent. I think that's all I know.
It is very violent. All I know is I've read part of the first chapter, and it's about a guy that dies. Apparently he gets brought back to life because he makes a pact or a deal with the devil, I guess, in a way. He comes back to life, and he's like a crime-fighting badass, and he starts having these flashbacks, seeing people that he knows, but he can't put a finger on who they are, and it like really bothers him. He has like certain cool, really I don't know what powers. He has really cool powers. Todd McFarlane created him, and Todd McFarlane's awesome because he did a lot of cool Spider-Man stuff. He's a really good inker and artist, and I definitely think that anime, comics, and like art and stuff like that could be a good episode 2 starting point.
I think we can always sort of talk about like little updates to what we've been watching.
So in Spawn, really cool. Something I think that is about to get me into it, and I may even buy the first compendium of everything because there's only 316 issues of Spawn.
Yeah.
So it's not like, and I don't know if there's spin-offs or things in other whatever, but Spawn is independent, so it's not like a big giant universe. Well, Todd McFarlane created Spawn in high school, and he came out and said just like 2 weeks ago that DC and Marvel Comics both had to start somewhere, and he has a group of really established, really creative and successful people that he has put together from Marvel and maybe even some from DC, that he wants them to start creating characters in his Spawn universe.
I see.
So he released that information like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. And he said that Spawn, and there's like a few other iterations of Spawn that he has created. He said that starting in the very near future, there's going to be like a Spawn verse, and he doesn't know if it's going to like actually make it, but there's no way to tell unless you try. So they're
he
literally
wants to become the third American.
I don't think he wants to become like the third big like publisher.
Franchise.
What he wants to do, what he wants to do is give the people that have been following the ride of Spawn for the last 316 chapters a vision of what it could be, like a whole universe. Because like, what is Batman without Superman? You know, what is Superman without Wonder Woman? They're their own thing, their own entity in their books. But once you get to a certain point, if you can't integrate these characters,
the crossovers really add something.
Right. So his thing is a universe would be able to add depth and layers to his character Spawn.
Right.
So it's gonna be really cool to see where that goes. So I want to try and get on board while I can and kind of start collecting that because I really like Todd McFarlane.
Probably the most interesting comic thing to me is probably just well, I gotta say I like Batman's whole whole approach to mentality and such, but DC's Lantern Corps are very interesting.
I love Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Green Lantern's probably like my second favorite. I really like Hal Jordan. He's probably like my second favorite hero.
Is he the black dude or is he the white dude?
John Stewart's the black one.
Okay.
Hal Jordan is the original white one. I guess is the only way I can say it. He's like the brown-haired.
Yeah.
Kyle Rayner is the other white one, and Guy Gardner is the redheaded one. Do
they all fill the same Green Lantern position, or are they a part of the same Corps?
No. So, man, I really like how you don't know almost anything. Green Lanterns, I don't know the exact number of Green Lanterns, but Green Lanterns are galactic police, and they each have jurisdiction, as in sectors that they patrol. So each Green Lantern fills a certain role in the jurisdiction that they're assigned to. So Hal Jordan is my favorite. And the whole, I suggest reading, probably Jeff Johns is my favorite person that's done anything on Green Lantern. If you ever want to read him, Green Lantern, Jeff Johns' run on Green Lantern was good. Yeah. But they do a Brightest Day, Darkest Night event, and it's when they introduce the color spectrum into
the Red Lanterns, which are like the really violent ones.
Yeah, so they each have an emotion that they're tied to, and those emotions power the rings that they wear. Yeah. And I haven't actually read Brightest Day or Darkest Night. I just know, like I said, a lot about it. But I just know, like, there's some good movies. Like Emerald Knight was a good movie, I think it was called Emerald Knight. But Hal Jordan as a character was cool because I think I saw that in, like, the Infinite or Justice League Frontier, or whatever the heck that movie was. Mm-hmm. But, like, growing up, I saw a lot of Jon Stewart because he was an Unlimited Justice League villain in Justice League. But he's definitely not my favorite. I just wasn't real big into his vibe. He was just like, I don't know. Hal Jordan, on the other hand, like, him getting his ring, and he was the first one, and his whole feud with Sinestro, and Sinestro, like, being jealous of him and wanting to do his own thing, and, like, creating the yellow ring, and being the fear spectrum, and it's weak, like, green is weak against yellow, and the whole thing going on. And then when the
And
other
that
rings
orange guy who
were introduced,
fucks off and collects a bunch of shit.
yeah, Larfleeze, and he's just like, I want all the rings because orange is greed, and that's just what I want. It's not called greed; it's called something else, though.
Aren't the violet ones all about love or something?
The red one, yeah, the violet one is like super into like love.
Yeah.
Red, of course, is rage, and Atrocitus is one of the strongest. He is the strongest Red Lantern, but he's one of the strongest guest characters in the DC universe.
That's the cat, right?
No, that's the that's the big ass alien guy. The cat was cool though. The introduction of the cat. I'm not. I said he was one of the strongest. He's one of the strongest, I guess, Lantern Corps wise. And then you have blue, which is hope, and they like power, like the willpower, which is green.
They
like
sit around and do nothing. Yeah.
Literally. I don't even think they have an actual like thing. Like their ring can't really make whatever they're called. I can't remember. I can't think what they're called. And then like white and black, like black is death and white is life.
Damn.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. It just goes
Purple-
super into
the
depth.
Indigo is the other.
Yeah, one of them was like weird. I don't know.
They're like psychics or scholars or something.
Something like that. And then like, it's weird how they introduce all that because you go all the way back to Super Friends, or not Super Friends. Yeah, Super Friends.
Justice
And I
League.
think no. I'm talking about the old Super Friends. Like, I guess it was in the 70s or the 80s. Like, it's a Super Friends cartoon.
Yeah.
And Sinestro wasn't even yellow yet. He had a black and blue costume, and he had like the invisible spectrum, which is something they touched upon here recently. And the Star Sapphire chick that's in love with Hal Jordan, and they're like enemies.
Well, guys, it's been about 3 hours now.
Yeah. My phone is like, oh, we cannot enable crisp due to an error. I'm like, for God's sake, let me just use my phone to do this.
Oh no, not crisp.
My phone died because the battery went out, and then I finally charged it up to 20% to, get back into this, and it's just like, oh, time for an update.
Oh,
It
that's
just shuts
awful.
everything off.
Well,
Yep.
it was a nice talk, guys. Real fun. I
Most
want to
fun.
say that I think I'm just gonna settle on the title of Weskerocity Podcast because,
That sounds great.
yeah. What do you think, Brandon?
My name is Wesker, so I agree.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much, Wesker. So, any last words, Wesker and Caleb?
Wesker and Wesker, you mean?
Yeah. Well, sorry, Wesker. I apologize. I got your name wrong. It's actually Spader. I mean Wesker.
Yeah, it's definitely Wesker. Wesker and Wesker.
Yeah, the three
Wesker
Wesketeers.
The three Wesketeers.
The three
So,
baboos.
yeah, I hope we get a guest on the podcast eventually. And
Yeah.
I had a really fun time, and I'd
Can
love
we call
love
him
to keep coming
Wesker
back.
the whole time, whether he likes it or not?
Yeah, that sounds like a good. That's really a good gimmick.
How many times you got to do that before Wesker just becomes a slur? Fucking Wesker.
Hey! Say it. Don't say it with the hard R. Just say it Wesker.
Wesker.
Bring it back. Well, I hope
Talking about slurs.
I hope Gay Robot can join us as a host. I think his dry asshole-ish personality would be a great addition to our.
We'll
What's he
lube him up.
interested in? What is his interest?
He likes guns. He likes some video games. He likes some anime.
He likes drug
He's like
paraphernalia.
mostly American with a little bit of everything else.
He likes drugs. He likes talking about deep topics. I don't know. You're gonna get a real mixed bag with him.
He likes Trump.
He does. He does like his Trump.
I mean, I don't know. I have
I'm not commenting on anything.
varied
Nothing
opinions. on
political.
everything.
I'm not opening the floodgates to political discussion. I just got out of the military, and I don't have any political opinions.
I don't know. I try to honestly stay away from things like that unless I have a lot of time to talk about it.
No, I'm
I
not
think I was my
gonna
boss
be-
just like last month.
I'm already emotionally exhausted. I don't want to be even more so.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'd rather argue about stuff that matters, like whether the Pokemon remake will be good or not.
Yeah. But
We're
you're from
real problems
Florida,
with
so
society.
we know where you're. Yeah, Florida.
Yeah.
Look, I'm looking forward to new Pokemon news and information. And these are the closing thoughts. So I had a fun time, and I'm gonna be back and gonna probably be caught up on some things.
I'm glad to hear that, Wesker. I hope.
Like anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Brandon read this Future's End title, by the way, when I'm done, whether he likes it or not.
Okay.
He likes Batman Beyond, so I don't see why he wouldn't like the idea.
I do love Batman Beyond. I bought the Blu-ray recently, and I watched it all the time as a kid, and I think everybody else loves Batman Beyond.
It's literally Terry McGinnis trying to save the world with no help.
And I like that name. I like Terry McGinnis.
The art style is really good.
Yeah, this is a different art style. But they do have one like that. They did the comic run.
Like, all you had to do was walk up to me and be like, and whisper straight into my ear. I don't even care how bad your breath is. All you gotta do is be like, Cyberpunk Batman.
Yeah. And it works.
And then my knees start shaking.
And then they collapse in on themselves and jelly starts spurting out. Start crying.
We don't talk about my man Jelly on the Weskerocity podcast.
Oh, but I'm hungry.
Hungry.
Hunger for Wesker's man jelly.
Oh yeah. Get it while you can, boys. All right, that's
We only
it.
talk. Yeah.
Thanks for watching and listening. If you made it this far, see you later.
Later.
I like it when I skip to the very end and then watch it backwards.
Yeah, that's a great feat.
Wesker's
It's the same
man
way I
jelly.
eat.